Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan.
Welcome to the 4th annual Grifties and the first ever live Grifty Awards! And now for your hosts, Uncle Hotep and Hotep Jesus!
Yo, no George, but I can't even breathe in this joint.
That's fucked up. He working on that Coon of the Year award.
Black people, am I right?
We've got some great categories tonight, including athlete.
We'll say what's up to your dad.
Season's COVID-19.
Who did you want? Hamlin? Hamlin's a sleeper. Hamlin's a sleeper.
Female, musical, celebrity, people's political grifty, the Hall of Fame, and a surprise category.
Y'all see we professional. We got the teleprompter and shit. And of course, the one everyone is waiting for, Grifter of the Year award.
From podcasts to movies.
DJ Protocol.
Yeah, DJ, that's the time to do it.
This is not a grift. I really think Lil Nas X is a gay demon.
How dare you?
Unlike most modern award shows, none of these women have penises.
Women shouldn't speak anyways.
Y'all picked the blackest room for a black. Paint the walls white so I can see y'all next time.
All coons look alike to me.
Some of you white people too. Some of y'all look like you came from 8 Mile.
We're halfway through, no one's been shot yet.
But I'm going to say at the Grifty Awards, there's only one person more arrogant, more self-assured than me, and that's Hotep Jesus.
Grifter of the Year!
Clap it up for old Uncle Hotep.
Hopefully my kids will watch this and be inspired and stuff like that.
Fuck them kids.
I'm looking for my wallet. I'm like, oh, thank God he didn't take it. Thank God.
The Grift Report is back, baby, and it starts right now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to the Grift Report, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host at Griff God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this is the Hotep brother.
Hotep to the chat. Hotep to the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
What's happening, y'all? We made it. Happy Monday. Happy Easter and all of that good stuff. For some of you, you may not be aware. I must make you aware. The Easter Bunny ain't no bitch. Okay? Easter Bunny ain't no bitch. Here's our promo for this weekend. Easter Bunny ain't no bitch. Shout out to menofwater.com. Shout out to the squad, the team, making this dream possible. 50% off Apex. Apex, the price is lowered. You can go take advantage, and you can still apply the discount code. You can still apply the discount code. That's the great part about it. Discount promo code Grift Report. Hit the link in the description box below. And take advantage. Take advantage of now, because tonight I'm gonna change the price. And I don't want to hear any excuses. Go get your Apex. Apex is a wonderful product because it just makes you feel a little bit more manly, or a lot a bit more manly. Your wife's gonna thank you. The ladies in your life are gonna thank you, for obvious reasons. But I just want to be clear. This isn't for the sloth and the slouch and the sluggish. This is for the active men that actually use their brain and use their body, men that actually hit the gym. The rest of you bums, don't touch this shit. Do not buy Apex if you don't plan on lifting some iron. Because I don't want your shitty ass review talking about you didn't feel nothing. You didn't feel nothing because you didn't get off the couch, you bitch.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Get your bitch ass off the couch. Go to the gym. Work out. And take Apex. This is great for muscle recovery and muscle growth, as well as stabilizing your testosterone levels. Now, I can say if you're not active, you may get a benefit of some testosterone balancing in your body, hormonal balancing. Women as well can experience hormonal balancing from this product because it's all natural, right? This is not made by man. This is made by God. We have all natural ingredients. There's nothing that went through a lab process to get here. I mean, chopped up some herbs and put it in this capsule. Real easy and simple, okay? No, Don Day, I have not argued with anyone yet. Shout out to Protocol. Shout out to Lauren in the chat. Chatting it, fam. Renee Vogel in the chat, I see y'all. Federales, I see you. What's going on with my rumblers? Who's over on Rumble rumbling? What up, Kay? Shout out to Kay in the chat. All right, where are we starting today? We might as well just start off with the bitch assness on the timeline. We might as well just start there. Hold on. Let's pull this up. Let's just start right here with the festivities, and then we'll get into some more important topics. Let's listen to this. This is in regard to Biden and his Transgender Day of Visibility proclamation, which has triggered red whites nationally, maybe internationally, who knows. Let's see.
So the criticism over the Transgender Day of Visibility, the White House said that the president wouldn't abuse his faith for political purposes. Does the president think that's what Republicans are doing on this?
I mean, look, just a couple of things, and really so surprised by the misinformation that's been out there around this, and I want to be very clear. Every year for the past several years, on March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility is marked. And as we know, for folks who understand the calendar and how it works, Easter falls on different Sundays, right? Every year. And this year it happened to coincide with Transgender Visibility Day. And so that is the simple fact. That is what has happened. That is where we are. And I do want to say a couple of things because I think it's important here. As you just stated in your questions, what we've been hearing out there, a lot of misinformation done on purpose. And as a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American. Now, sadly, and it's not surprising, right? It is actually unsurprising that politicians are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric. It is dishonest what we have heard the past 24 hours. It is untrue what we heard over the weekend.
Yo, is this what you was occupying yourself with over the weekend? I hope not. I hope you weren't occupying yourself with this bullshit. So RNC research here says, Corinne Jean-Pierre says, it's misinformation that Biden declared Easter Sunday as Transgender Day of Visibility. She's lying. And unfortunately, again, here I am having to do the unthinkable, which is defend the Democrats, which is just, it's a bad day for the red whites when I have to defend the Republic, when I have to defend a Democrat. Because the fact of the matter is, Biden did not declare Easter Sunday as Trans Day of Visibility. He did not declare it. There was no declaration. There was a proclamation, but there was no declaration. Okay? And I responded in a thread here, and I said, nah, she's right. Easter is on 4/20 next year. So I guess it's the stoners' turn to be triggered. LOL. So stoners next year, y'all got to celebrate. You're gonna have to celebrate with the tea people. Now let's take a look at something. I want to type in when is Easter. Okay, I'm gonna type in when is Easter. It's just again for the kids, right? People may not know, and also reminders, right, for the people who may have forgotten. So here we go. So Easter is the first Sunday after the full moon that occurs on or after the spring equinox. So again, we covered this Friday. We're dealing with celestial events. Celestial events. It says here, if the full moon falls on a Sunday, then Easter is the next Sunday. So again, we're dealing with the spring equinox. We're dealing with full moons. Why? Why? Anybody can tell me why? I don't know why. Jabari said Easter was before Passover this year for the first time in a while. Uh-oh, here we go.
Oh, this is the Hotep brother.
Why? Why did they choose spring equinox, full moon? Who made that decision? Is this the doing of Constantine? Or is it somebody else? Let's go back. Hold on. I think I had more to say about this. I hope I don't have more to say about this. I got so much stuff for y'all today. I got so much stuff for you today. We ain't even going to get to all of it. I got a nice Griff bag for y'all today. Very enriching. You know you didn't come here to hear about tea people. You know you didn't come here to hear about tea people. You know you came to the greatest show on earth to be fulfilled with gems. Gems, 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 gems. You know? All right, let me conclude this topic. How do we want to conclude this topic? Well, let's begin with the proclamation, right? So technically what happened was the left woke up in the morning, or they pre-planned it, and they said, hey, guess what? You know what happens on Sunday? And they were like, what? Easter happens to fall on the same day as trans visibility. And then they started doing a hand rub. Don't you anti-Semites get started. They started the hand rub, and they said, you know what? We're going to have Biden do something for us. They grabbed Biden, they threw together a ChatGPT speech for him. The truth of the matter is, Trans Day of Visibility was created in 2009. 2 + 9 is 11. So there's some manifesting here going on with the placement. Anyway, enough numerology. So this is a thing. It's been around for a while now, blah, 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 blah. But the left, understanding that the red whites are one part reactionary, one part grifting, right? So let's go to the first lesson of the day. As a matter of fact, let's just hop right into the lesson. Let's pull this up. Where is it? Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. So a little bit of wisdom. I said wisdom is knowing how to balance your fucks given. As you become wiser, you begin to recognize what deserves your attention / care and what does not. Be wise, my friend. Okay? Then, later on in this morning, I said, we need a national silence of the left day. And that's where right-wing influencers go a whole day without posting something about the left.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
A whole day without posting something about the left. Is that not Mission Impossible? I wish I had the Mission Impossible music so I could play it right now. This is the issue. This is the issue. The reactionary right, the red whites, fall into two categories. And one of them happens to be reactionary, where they wake up in the morning and they go, oh, left. Oh, God of the left, please do something today so I have something to talk about. If the left did not exist, these people wouldn't have a damn thing to talk about.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You know what they'd be doing? They'd be sharing pictures of their guns and their dogs. That's what they'd be doing.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
That's what they would be doing. They'd be sharing pictures of their dogs and guns. And that's all they should be doing. I'd rather see that. I'd rather see pictures of your guns and your little dirty dogs than to fucking wake up and see T people on my timeline every day. Every day I wake up, I check the timeline to catch up on the news. What do I see? T people on the timeline. T people on the timeline. It's much bigger fish to fry. Now, you know when the left get grifty, what that means, right? When the left get grifty, what does that mean? It's the perfect time to move under the cover, right? So this topic is the thing that provides cover. This story is providing cover while other things go on in the background. So the question may be, Hotep Jesus, what is it that's going on in the world that we should be paying attention to? And that's exactly why you watch the Grift Report. I'm going to bring it up on your screen right now. Bing, bang, bow. There it is. Big brain shit. We starting the day off big brain shit. I got a lot of shit for you. I got a lot of things for you today. Look at what this says. Has the G20 agreed to launch a global CBDC? What? Huh? G20 nations talking about a global CBDC. Let's take a look at it. It appears that the Federal Reserve Bank, Bank of England, Reserve Bank of India, and Australia are all on board initially. That does raise questions as the People's Bank of China is missing, but it does raise the prospect of a true competitor to Bitcoin. This is fake news. It is not a competitor to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not money. Bitcoin is digital gold. Please get that through your thick skull. And all the people that try to tell you Bitcoin is money are grifters.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
They're called Bitcoin maxis and they're grifters. And they're here to convince you that Bitcoin is money. Bitcoin is not money. It's a reserve asset. Okay? And if anybody wants to debate that, I'll call Jag to debate that. I'm not debating that shit. And he says that is such a weird thing to say, as Bitcoin is not run by a central bank, but I guess that's the point, right? So this is something to keep an eye out on, right? G20 nations. Now, what's even bigger is, look at this. SEC investigates Federal Reserve for market manipulation. Gary Gensler announces SEC launching a formal investigation of the Federal Reserve for market manipulation. Now, it's April Fool's. I'm like, there's no way this is real. There's no way this is real. I'm like, is this BitcoinMagazine.com trolling us? Let's take a look at it. SEC Chair Gary Gensler has announced that the SEC will be formally launching an investigation into the Federal Reserve for manipulating equity and cryptocurrency markets. Gensler stated, every couple of weeks, when I check Zero Hedge headlines, I see an article about Powell manipulating markets. It would seem that he's engaging in classic market manipulation by influencing securities pricing with his announcements regarding monetary policy. Wow. Wow. And this is true, and I've said this in the past. It's just, the markets run off of emotion, so all you need is a headline to move pricing. Everybody knows this. Market manipulation, according to BitcoinMagazine.com, is practiced by central banks, practiced by all central banks. But this is the first time that a central bank has been the focus of scrutiny of a regulatory agency for blatantly manipulating markets. While it is unlikely that the SEC will pursue formal charges, there could be a change in Fed policy due to the pressures from the SEC. Okay. Now, this could be a situation where they want to get ahead of it, before somebody else takes the Federal Reserve to court. That's my guess. Like, hey, let's take our buddies to the court so to look like we're doing our job here and nobody else steps up. You see what I'm saying? The XRP army has taken the investigation to mean that the Federal Reserve will be adopting the XRP token for cross-border payments. If the SEC is going after Federal Reserve like they did Ripple, the Fed will know how we all felt. The SEC's investigation is stupid, and we hope they win their case so they can begin using XRP and pump my bags. Now, it's very interesting that they would mention XRP here. XRP is working with various governments on creating a CBDC. Let's type it in. XRP, CBDC, CBDC. Let's type it in, and you'll see right here. Almost everywhere on the internet, you'll find these articles. Ripple in talks with over a dozen governments for CBDC. That's October 16, 2023 from Financial News London. And it goes on. So I want to just type in, SEC investigation. Investigation. You got to sound your shit out. You know what I'm saying? Now I type in SEC investigation. The first thing that should pop up here is the story about the Federal Reserve. It does not. Let's go down. Let's look. Do we see anything? No, we don't see anything on the homepage in regards to this story. Nothing on the homepage of this story. All right, let's go. Hey, let's hit the news tab. Okay, let's type in Federal Reserve and see what happens. I swear that's got to be an April Fool's joke. This has to be an April Fool's joke by Bitcoin Magazine. It's a really good one too. Oh, they got me. They haven't said it, but I'm pretty sure this is a really good April Fool's joke. Oh, when they got me. Because I don't see it. This is why you always got to fact check, right? Oh, this is a really good joke. Oh, this is so good. Oh, wow. Yep. Damn. See, man, I was hoping and a wishing, but nope, they got me. Good job, Bitcoin Magazine. You got me. That was brilliant.
Hotep.
Oh, man, that was brilliant. Oh, damn well these niggas ain't investigating. So, well, that's that. You said you hate April Fools? I love April Fools. I love April Fools. You know, it keeps you on your toes. You know what I'm saying? And April Fools is good because, you know, the lesson here is every day should be treated like April Fools. Okay? Every day should be treated like April Fools. You should look at, you know, every single headline, every single story as if the day is April Fool's Day. You should just do that because you'll find out that half the shit you see on the timeline is not real. All right, let's get in the bag. Like I said, we got some real shit to talk about. I want to start right here. This shit funny to me. I had this personality on my channel in the past. I'll reserve comment on that interview, let you guys watch it at your own leisure. But she says, I will never be the right type of black. And honestly, I don't want to. Let's take a look.
There is no redemption. There is no conversation. It is whatever we say about you is truth, and you're done.
One friend did it with us. He heard our side of the story, and he was just like, oh, wow, this is completely understandable. I see where you guys are coming from. Then he writes us later on.
Shout out to Gothics. Gothics TV. This is her new documentary.
We weren't the right type of black friend.
I brakes on that for a while. I don't know how much out of this time I need that I'm at right now. I need to clear my head. I haven't been feeling myself. I think it's time for me to take a break. Like, I just feel like I'm kind of floating without any purpose right now.
They brought up my boyfriend. They wanted to know if he was white, because if he was, that would have made sense to them of why I was acting like this. Seeing people automatically say, okay, the reason you have a problem with this is because you're racist is an issue for me. I said, we need to stop doing this. I'm talking in a matter of 24 hours, I became
Is this a coon documentary?
course of 4 days, I had more racism towards me from other people that looked like me than in my entire existence on this planet. What's the next step once they realize I can't, attack someone on social media and make them disappear, so what do we gotta do now? Is physical assault okay?
And I just see like these pools of blood. And I'm like, okay, I'm panicking now.
What? Now, here's my issue. You're complaining about not being black enough and being attacked by black folks, but this is your header. There's a million things in the world. There's an infinite number of things that could have occupied the space of your ex-header Gothics. And you chose the troll route. You chose the troll route. And there's actually nothing wrong with that. However, if you choose to troll, you got to take what comes with that. You got to take what comes with that. It comes with being a troll. You got to eat that. You got to take that on the chin. You can't just make a documentary about, oh my God, woe was me, I'm a coon. What are we making documentaries about? Gothics, what are you doing, yo? I'm not going to say most, but some of Gothics, say every time I see Gothics content, it's about I'm not black enough. And we went over this last week. You're not black enough. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be black. But don't cry about not being black. Just live your life and stop talking about black people. If in your header is trolling, this is your header right here, right? The Little Mermaid. Now, me and Uncle Hotep talked about this before, and we said everybody in this conversation is retarded because you're talking about some child show and you mad because the mermaid's black. Y'all corny for even arguing about the Little Mermaid. All of y'all corny from arguing about the Little Mermaid. You're just corny. You're an adult. Like we should have more important things to talk about than the Little Mermaid. But if you're going to do this, you should expect vitriol from the black community because you've taken the position of the red whites. Not to say either side is right or wrong. Like I said, it's both stupid, but you've picked a side. You could have talked about anything in the world. You could have talked about economics. Is she trolling with the doc? I hope she's trolling, but it seems like she's serious. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. I got like I said, I got a nice bag here for you. And this story right here needs to be discussed, and I'm gonna have to spend some more time on it. Okay, I'm gonna have to spend a considerable amount of time on this conversation. Okay, because I just don't want to talk about not good enough blacks, not being black or some shit. Like, what are we talking about here, people? You're not black enough. Just take the L on the chin and go. Stop talking about black people and you won't have to worry about it. Look at this headline. It says, woman wants to know, how are men so good at hiding all the stressful things in their lives? How are men so good at hiding all the stressful things in their lives? Well, you know what this answer comes back to? The answer comes back to fathers. This is a father thing. And then we're gonna start with parents, then we're gonna work our way down to children. So, two situations. You have a single father and you have a single mother. Okay. And a single father has a different experience, or a man has a different experience from a woman. We were talking about this yesterday, where a person decided to live their life for a year as a man, and then by the end of the year was over, they wanted to kill themselves. So they weren't equipped to live life as a man. They didn't grow up as a man. So you don't know what it's like to be a man. Okay? So what is it that makes it so that men handle their stress better than women? So before we get into that, I want to just, again, highlight single dads and single moms. What are the traits that a single dad going to hand down to his children, regardless of gender? Traits of being a man. What are the traits that are going to be handed down from a single mom to their kids, regardless of gender? Traits of being a woman. Okay? Cool. Now, that statement that I framed this conversation in is going to make sense as I move into my explanation. A little boy is born, a little girl is born. A little boy falls and a little girl falls. Who do we reach to help first? The little girl. A little boy cries and a little girl cries. Who do we console? The little girl. We tell the little boy, toughen up. We tell the little girl, come here, baby, it's going to be okay. You see, women are raised knowing that they have a safety net. Women are raised knowing that there will always be sympathy for them. Men know we are grown from a little boy to know there is no sympathy for us. There is no safety net. If a single man has a baby, if a single woman has a baby, we all know that the woman is going to reach for government and she will get that every single day. Okay, so women know that at the very least there's going to be a safety net. Now let's come back to the single mother and the single father. Single father raising his children, going to raise them how he thinks life should be as a man. So his daughter is going to, in most scenarios, be raised rather tough. He's going to say, no, you're going to need to learn how to deal with stress. So you're going to notice that girls with a strong masculine father in their life who spent a lot of time with them is going to handle stress better than somebody raised by a single mom. And the same thing for the little boy raised by a single mom. He is not going to be able to handle stress because he handles stress like a woman would, and his mother always provided a safety net for him. So when he gets older, he handles things like a woman and is very emotional, etc., etc. A lot of this stuff comes back to, like I said, fatherhood. Fatherhood. It comes back to boys versus girls and that safety net. We were raised in the darkness. We were born in the darkness. You are just now getting hip to it because you become an adult and you're like, what is this stress? Where's my safety net? How do I deal with this stress? Men have been grown since a little boy to know that nobody cares about your tears. When a girl cries, everybody cries. When a boy cries, everybody laughs. We are raised our entire life knowing nobody cares. A woman, it's the complete opposite. Somebody cares. And that's the reason why men handle stress better. Because we had to. Because we have to. Because nobody cares. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Today's super chat goal is $44. Thank you to everybody that helps me reach that goal. All right, let's move on. This here is a favorite subject of mine. The concept of liberty and freedom. David Hogg, you guys know David Hogg, the son of an FBI agent who's anti-gun or something like that. Anti-gun rights. He's a gun grabber or some shit. I don't know. He says you can't effing claim to love freedom when half your agenda is controlling what half the population does with their bodies and stop people from accessing gender-affirming care simply so they can exist as who they are. Bigotry and patriarchy are antithetical to freedom. Now, you know what? He's absolutely correct. He's right. He's right. And this is what I've been saying for a really long time. Everybody gets on these crap apps, and what do they say? Oh, liberty and freedom. And I'm like, yo, you know, liberty and freedom ain't good. It comes to a certain point where somebody's got to cut that shit the fuck off. You got to cut it. You got too much freedom. And that's what America is. It's got too much freedom. And it steals freedom from where it's supposed to be and adds freedom where it shouldn't be. This is why I always say, hey, you know, some of y'all running around calling yourselves capitalists and saying communism's bad and fascism bad. And I'm over here like, yo, I'm a Hotep fascio communist. I'm a fascist and a communist because it was up to me. It wouldn't be no German affirming care in Hotepistan.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You want some German? You want me to affirm your agenda? Get in the ring. Let's beat your ass and see and affirm. That's what the fuck we gonna do. Toughen the fuck up. That's how you affirm your gender. Hop in the ring. Go a couple of rounds sparring. That's how you affirm your gender. Some of these motherfuckers ain't never been in the ring. They ain't had no daddy at home, and that's why they need somebody to affirm their gender. It's called no daddy at home syndrome.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
That's what this shit comes back to. You see, we're talking about fatherhood today. This comes back to having a strong father, not submitting your children to the public school education. Too much freedom. Now, you can't say America is this bastion of freedom, then get upset when you got people wanting to do all sorts of weird shit with the gender. That's what comes along with liberating Greece. The bullshit, the debauchery, the decadence. This is just facts. These are the facts, people. Do you want freedom or do you want a righteous society?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Hotep Jesus wants a righteous society. I don't want freedom. I would declare my own freedom through my exertion of power.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Freedom comes with power. Freedom comes with power. You want to know why they got Visibility Day for them people? Because they got power. You know why they was able to slap you in the face on Easter with the Visibility Day? Because you have no power.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
All you do is give your power to the left. You wake up, you open your fake newspaper, a.k.a. the X app, and you find what the left talking about, and you give them all your power. You ain't wake up and tell people, hey, we reading this verse in the Bible today. You ain't wake up and say, here's how you put together the AR-15. You ain't wake up today and affirm. You ain't affirm nothing. I wake up and your favorite accounts is posting T people all day long. Uncle Hotep woke up this morning, found a wholesome video from high school. He said, I post wholesome videos from these high schoolers. You post high school videos. We are not the same.
Oh, this is a Hotep brother.
Huh? your grifter class, which is the buffer between you and the political class, has betrayed you. They have betrayed you and they've misled you. And they've led you down a path of being a loser. They've sent you down a path of defeat. And you gobble it up because, oh, we own the left today. We own the left today. I saw somebody say, I'm going to show you what they said actually. Let me bring up what they said, and it's going to just drive my point home some more. Look at here, look at here, look at here. And it's funny, I say shit, and then people don't even know it, but they provide the ammo for my point. How you gonna argue with me and provide the ammo for my point? It makes no sense. Let's put this up on the screen. So this was in response to my tweet about a national day of silence from leftism. And this person here says, hard to do that since the left owns art, business, media, sports media, government, culture, education, from preschool to grads. From preschool to grads. You see the word he used here? You see the word he said, hard to do since the left owns art, business, media, sports, government, culture, education. And you wake up and you think a bunch of likes and retweets and ratio and it's owing the left. The left owns everything.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
The left owns you. How you gonna own something that the left own? You can't own the left when the left own you. Them retweets ain't doing shit. You send your kids to school, they come back home with their dick chopped off. You send your kids to school and they come back home with a Band-Aid on their arm. Cause the school told them you don't need mommy's permission to get the jab. You talking about you own the left. No, the left owns you. And this is the issue today. These motherfuckers wake up playing some weird video game of ownership. But in the real world, when you log the fuck off, they have no power. And that's what this comes back to. Freedom is the existence of power. It is the and the lack of freedom is a lack of power. As a man, you don't want freedom, you want power.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
As a man, you don't go around saying, I want liberty and I want freedom and liberation. That's bitch shit. That's feminine energy. I don't want freedom, I want power. I don't want freedom, I want power. This is why they took black power away and replaced it with Black Lives Matter. They took something masculine and replaced it with feminine, and they did it with the red whites, and they did it with the blue whites, they did it with the red blacks, and they did it with the blue blacks. And they did it with the yellow blacks and the yellow whites that called themselves libertarian. They called themselves the liberty movement. The liberty movement. You know what? Hotepistan is the power movement.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Huh? We want liberty. We want liberation. I want freedom. You sound like a bunch of bitches. That's what you sound like to me. Sound like a bunch of punks. You sound like a bunch of women. Where's your daddy at? I need to have a talk with your daddy to find out how the fuck you ended up like this. So when David Hogg gets up here and says shit like, yo, they got Trans Visibility Day because it's a free country, he's fucking right. He's fucking right. That's why I keep telling y'all this freedom shit is some bullshit. Every society needs a healthy amount of motherfucking fascism.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Every society needs a healthy amount of fascism. Somebody at some point gonna need a boot in their ass. Now, who gonna be the one giving the boot? That's the question. That's going to determine how your society, because if the T people is putting a boot in your ass, you know what's coming. But y'all playing online. Y'all playing, oh, we own the libs. Oh, I owned him. I ratioed him under his own tweet. He gonna ratio your little nigga's dick off his body in a minute you keep fucking around. He gonna ratio you to the point you ain't got no guns. You ain't got no freedom. You ain't got no freedom of speech. Talking about you own the left. No, the left owns you. They own everything around you. Because you're too busy playing online. Stealing people's attention. Stealing people's money. And I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of y'all. And I'm not even mad at the grifters because the grifters are going to exist. But they only exist because you motherfuckers tolerate this shit. Because you retweet these dirty motherfuckers. These same motherfuckers got on the internet and told you, get the jab. Right-wing influencers, prominent news outlets, supposed to be independent media, told you that you was stupid if you ain't got it. They called you a dope for not getting it. And you still get your information from these people? You still get your information from these people? Huh? That's stupid. That's stupid. Hold on a second. I got something else to bring up. I had somebody by the name of Yoel Israel in my mentions this weekend, acting like a bitch. Let's pull this up. I forgot to put the disclaimer on today. You right. So I said here, y'all still get your social and political commentary from people who promoted and took the vax? Here come Yoel Israel. If someone changed positions, what is wrong with that? Those willing to admit they were wrong, do they get any credit? Especially for unrelated commentary? I responded as such. My first response was fuck no. But I took a second and I tried to be decent about it. And I said there are three basic kinds of decisions: minor, major, life or death. If you fail in the life or death situations, you don't get a second chance. Either you dead or you killed somebody, especially when the information was widely available. Oh, the Jewish versus Christian thread? I might get into that. You think I should get into that, Jabari? Actually, I will. I'm going to go into that right after this. Because that thread was fire. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. Niggas had me tweeting threads and shit. He continues, he says, I may be the only person in Israel who did not get the shot. That leaves me with no one to trust on anything. Some of my best investment advice are from those who did take the poison, then changed their mind, but their investment advice was great. I still listen to them for investments. I said, but you off topic, so we can't even listen to you. He's way off topic. I said people who promoted and took it. Scott Adams, I'm giving him a little bit of leeway. He an old fart. That's my white uncle, but he an old fart. But he ain't tell us to go get the shit. He might have used, some of his persuasion voodoo magic, but he never came out and told you were stupid like the Daily Wire cast, Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. These are two motherfuckers I'm really talking about. Now, what's my point? My point is, you got your information from these people about, what Congress member was fucking one Congress member and just a whole bunch of shit that don't matter. It's just soap operas for adults. Fine. Then when the life or death decision came down the pike, this is when you gotta be right. Life or death is on the line. What decision do you choose? And it wasn't a hard fucking decision. This wasn't a we're being invaded, what should we do decision. This is a very simple, the government wants to stick some foreign shit in your body. What do? The obvious fucking answer, especially if you're black, is no thank you. The rest of you motherfuckers who never had the black experience or learned from the black experience followed your motherfucking Ben Shapiro's and all these motherfuckers at Daily Wire. Some of y'all still subscribe and give them your money. My point is not that you can't listen to these people. My point is you need to retract your support, and sometimes that comes in the form of attention, because when it mattered most, they fucking failed you. They failed you. It was a utter failure. So no, you do not get a second chance. I don't want to hear your shit. You're a fucking moron. The pandemic was an IQ test and you failed, stupid.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You know who didn't fail? The Hoteps.
Hotep.
That's who didn't fail the IQ test. So smart, you're dumb. So smart, you're dumb. Let's go to the Jews. Let's talk about the Jews. What time is it? That niggas got me ranting on a Monday. So we got the anti-Semites, most of them uneducated. And this all stemmed from one of my tweets. You know, it said I said if you've never read Industrial Society and Its Future, I don't even want to talk to you, right? And it's mostly, this was really just like a response to people, because I saw a meme and it said, I think it was from Matt Walsh and them, and it was like, one of them was like this industrialized society, and the other one was a society living in huts. And they said, you know, the industrialized society is one with alcohol, and the other one is the society with, marijuana. So because they've been smoking marijuana, they didn't produce anything, right? So the first thing I go is, oh, these people really love this industry, this industrial society. They really love this shit. They think this shit is good, right? And as I said before, I said, if your advanced civilization is not created in harmony with nature, then you've advanced and civilized nothing. In fact, it's probably a regression, okay? So this person here says, if you have read the Communist Manifesto, I don't even want to talk to you. In which I responded, if you have not read the Communist Manifesto, I don't even want to talk to you. You got to study your enemy. So then he goes, Marx was Jewish. Every aspect of communism is Jewish. And to that I responded, you could make the same argument for capitalism. And I can, and I'm going to show you right now. I've read everything on this subject. Everything. Everything. We're going to go right here. You got to go read this. We're going to pull this up on your screen. You got to read this book. Where is it? Oh, wait. He looks like he's written a bunch of things on this subject matter. Here we go. Right here. Let's put this up on your screen. This is an excellent document, by the way. Just people that want to understand our world. This one is called, written by a Jew. It's called The Jews and Modern Capitalism. 291 pages. Fabulous, fabulous document. You can learn a lot by reading this. We're not going to dive into this today, but it's called Jews and Modern Capitalism. Wonderful, wonderful fucking document. You should all read it. So coming back to my previous statement, without getting too deep in the weeds, I said you can make the same argument for capitalism. And this is why you can't really do the whole all Jews are bad thing, because if it wasn't for Murray Rothbard, where would we be? You know? So let's continue down the rabbit hole. So Paladin says, what is the Hotep's view on Jews in power? Is it a planned takeover or happenstance? And then I said, glad you asked. Knowledge is power. Those who prioritize education will have more power. See, we're right back to that word power. Jews go to Jewish-built schools. Whites are indoctrinated in Rockefeller government education. You don't stand a chance. Whites send their kids to schools to learn business and liberal arts. Jews study law, finance, and medicine. You don't stand a chance. When the crowns of Europe chose decadence over education, they needed a Jew to count their money. Jews make better life decisions. Jews follow the canon story. Whites follow the remake by Constantine. You don't stand a chance. Jews speak an ancient and mystical language. You speak English, the bastardized language of German. You don't stand a chance. Jews report crimes within a community to their religious leader. You report crimes in your communities to the constables of government. You don't stand a chance. Jews govern themselves. You have a government. You don't stand a chance. You mock the results of a planned degradation of the black community, and now you cry when it's your turn. I have no sympathy. You don't stand a chance. While you watch from the sidelines the oppression of the African diaspora, you did not see the planned degradation of white communities. You don't stand a chance.
Oh, this is the Hotep brother.
Now all of a sudden, the FBI is the bad guy. Now all of a sudden, the medical and big pharma's the bad guy. Nigga, we've been dealing with this shit. Now all of a sudden, fentanyl crisis. What'd you say during the crack era? Super predators, lock them up. Should we say that about your kids with fentanyl overdoses when they went through the meth crisis? You didn't say that about your kids when they ended up on meth. Now, oh my God, China did it and all this other shit. You waited too long. You didn't pay attention. While blacks was getting their asses handed to them by progressive policies and Republican decisions. Shout out to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was mad progressive now that I think about it. Anyway, what did you do? You sat by. You sat by idly. I can't even say that you watched, because if you watched, you would have seen what was going on. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, the roosters come home to roost. Now you realizing, oh shit, but it was happening to you at the same exact time. You just didn't see it because it was happening to black folks. But it was happening to you at the same exact time. You just didn't feel it the same because you said, at least I ain't the niggas. At least I ain't black. But now, oh, you feeling the pain now. Now all of a sudden, you motherfuckers don't trust government and all this other shit. You're late. You're late. You're late. And this is why your leadership had y'all taking the jab. Told y'all you was stupid if you ain't take the jab. Because you ain't studied history. If you would have studied black history, you'd have known, hey man, the government be doing some funny shit. But you looked at black history and said, I don't got to pay attention to shit because this only applies to black people. No, it's going to apply to your ass at some motherfucking point. And now it applies to you. Now all of a sudden you motherfuckers want to pay attention. When the black community was running around telling you like, yo, I don't know if I trust these medications. They'll learn. They will learn. Sooner or later. Sooner or later, they will learn. What else we got in here? Let's do this. Yeah, let's go here. Let's round off the conversation right here. Then we're going to go to phone lines. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. Hopefully you got some good questions today. Come with your questions. Come with your questions. Come with your questions. We got a Hotep history lesson today. One rooted in power and not struggle. That's what Hoteps do. We deal with power. We don't deal with struggle. Today's Hotep history lesson is from Hotep Dudes, president of Hotep Nation. Let's take a listen.
What's shaking, everybody? President Hotep Dube said, and today we're going to be talking about William Ellison Jr. Now, William was born enslaved as April Ellison in Winnsboro, South Carolina in 1790. He was originally named after the month he was born in, and from the ages of 10 to 16, he apprenticed as a blacksmith, a carpenter, and a cotton gin maker. He worked, but most of his earnings went back to his slave owner. He would eventually save enough money to purchase his freedom.
We got to stop right here. Because, not in this particular station, but the concept of buying your freedom. You know, when I first heard that slaves were buying their freedom, it made me first say, how? How? How you gonna buy your freedom and somebody else owns you? How is it you collect capital to buy that freedom? So there's a big part of this story of slavery nobody's talking about. If slave master was so bad, if I was an evil slave master, your money is my money. You ain't got no money, slave. You ain't got no money, nigga. So obviously at the time of slavery, there had to be some decorum to allow a slave to acquire capital and not steal it from. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't slave masters who didn't steal from the slaves. I'm sure there were. But this just completely changes things as far as what was slavery really like? If somebody was able to acquire capital and then purchase their freedom. I thought the white man was so bad and evil. He let you go free. He let you have money. He let you work on something outside of his plantation to earn money. Wow. So all these little documentaries and Hollywood movies, remember I told you, the lies don't come in the form of lies. They come in the form of omission. The shit they leave out. They leave out these details. I want to see a documentary. I want to see a Hollywood movie on how these people are acquiring the capital. What are you doing? What are you selling on the side? Let's go back.
And in June of 1816, April bought his freedom and changed his name to William after his father and former slave owner. In 1817,
now they tell you that the slave master was evil. Meanwhile, this dude was like, man, slave master, that's my daddy, and I'm gonna name myself after him. Must not have been too fucking bad. Must not have been too fucking evil if you named yourself after the motherfucker.
William moved to Sumter County and established himself as a cotton gin maker. At first, William employed and paid fair wages to artisan freedmen, but this business practice would soon show to be a problem. William's profits were obviously significantly less than his slave-owning counterparts, so the solution was clear and obvious to William. In 1820, William purchased his first slave and business picked up immediately. By 18...
Nigga got free. First thing he did was buy a slave. Where is this history and why is it not being taught? Shout out to Dope Dudes for this digging up of just great resources.
1850, William owned 386 acres of land and 37 slaves.
Damn.
His sons owned an additional 16 slaves. Despite this success,
his son got slaves too.
White slave owners rarely wanted anything to do with William or any black freedman for that matter, and they'd often try to avoid paying him. By 1852, William increased his land holdings to over 1,000 acres, and by 1860, William was South Carolina's largest Negro slave owner. Only 5% of the people owned as much real estate as William, and his wealth was 15 times greater than the state's average for whites, with an estate worth $43,500 or $1.5 million adjusted for inflation.
Nigga was getting money. Slave was getting money.
William owned more slaves than 99% of all slave owners of the South at 171 slaves.
Damn! This thing got 171 slaves. Bro.
During the Civil War, William was a staunch supporter of the Confederacy. His grandson joined the Confederate artillery unit, and he turned his plantation over from cotton cash crop production to farming food supplies for the Confederacy.
Damn. Niggas say, hey, listen, man, I got 171 slaves. They ain't taking these niggas from me. Here goes some food. Take my grandson.
He also invested a considerable amount of money into Confederate bonds, which were worthless at the end of the war.
That's true. Them shits was worthless at the end of the war. All right, let's go back. Hold on, we got more. We got more where that came from. Hold on. We got more where that came from. Let me go. I gotta reach my arm down in the bag, deep down in the bag. All right, here we go. Now we gotta do some reading here. I know some of you niggas just got off the plantation and some of y'all can't read. We're gonna do some reading now. Let's get that one. And let's do this. Okay, here we go. Let's pull this up. Not in any order. So Doe says here, being married during slavery was ridiculous. Free husbands and wives used to threaten to sell each other back into slavery during arguments. This is also how they got their children to behave. I'm sorry, but this is hilarious to me. Says Doe do. So Chef Kiva says, can you imagine if social media existed back then? This motherfucker really sold me because I ain't come back before dark. So let's take a look. Did he have any white slaves? Look. Matter of fact, Doe's digging up some shit right now, but I'm going to show you a book. Hold on, I'm about to find it. White Slaves, African Masters. American Barbary Captivity Narratives. Okay? This is by Paul Bapler. White Slaves, African Masters. So y'all go do your research. Hold on, let's read this right here while we still here. Okay? We bust narratives over here. The writer personally knew a man in Cumberland County, Virginia, whose mother was purchased by his father, who had first bought himself. Becoming enamored of a man's slave, she gave him her husband's manumission papers that they might escape together to free soil. Upon detecting this plot, the officers of the law got the impression that her husband had turned over the papers to the slave and arrested the freedman for the supposed offense. He had such difficulty in extricating himself from this complication that his attorney's fees amounted to $500. To pay them, he disposed of his faithless wife for that amount. And he summarizes here. He says, man frees his wife. Wife cheats on him with a man who's still enslaved. Steals her husband's freedom papers and gives it to him so they can escape. Gets her husband jammed up with the law. Husband's lawyer's fees are $500. Sells his wife to cover the legal fees. It was a dirty game. We got more. Hold on. Here's another one. The consensus records show that the majority of the Negro owners of slaves were such from the point of view of philanthropy. In many instances, the husband purchased a wife or vice versa. The slaves belonging to such families were few compared with the large numbers found among the whites on the well-developed plantations. Slaves of Negroes were in some cases the children of a free father who had purchased his wife. If he did not thereafter emancipate the mother, as many such husbands failed to do, his own children were born his slaves and were thus reported to the enumerators. Some of these husbands were not anxious to liberate their wives immediately. They considered it advisable to put them on probation for a few years. And if they did not find them satisfactory, they would sell their wives as other slaveholders disposed of Negroes. Damn, it's a dirty game.
Oh, this is the Hotep brother.
This a dirty game. This would be a sick-ass Boondocks episode. You right, Jay. You right, Jay's World. Think about that. He like, hey, bitch, I like you and shit, but you ain't gonna be free for at least another 3 years. I gotta see how you cook. I gotta see how your sandwiches is. I gotta see how you throw it back. I gotta see how faithful you is. You act up, You going right back there to Master Smith. I'm taking your ass. Imagine getting in an argument with your wife. She ain't iron your shit right. Do I gotta take your ass back to Master Smith? These are the histories we are missing out on, not as black people, as a people as a whole. As a people as a whole. This is why history has to be taught. Has to be taught. All of it has to be taught. No omission. No omission. With that being said, we're going to go to phone lines. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. And I'll be right back after this short, brief commercial break.
Welcome to the 4th annual Grifties and the first ever live Grifty Awards. And now for your hosts, Uncle Hotep and Hotep Jesus.
Yo, no George, but I can't even breathe in this joint.
That's fucked up. He working on that Coon of the Year award.
Black people, am I right?
We've got some great categories tonight, including athletes.
We'll say what's up to your dad.
Season's COVID-19.
Who did you want? Hamlin? Hamlin's a sleeper. Hamlin's a sleeper.
Female, musical, celebrity, people's political grifty, the Hall of Fame, and a surprise category.
Y'all see we professional. We got the teleprompter and shit. And of course, the one everyone is waiting for, Grifter of the Year award.
From podcasts to movies.
DJ Protocol.
Yeah, DJ, that's the time to do it.
This is not a grift. I really think Lil Nas X is a gay demon.
How dare you?
Unlike most modern award shows, none of these women have penises.
Women shouldn't speak anyways.
Y'all picked the blackest room for a black. Paint the walls white so I can see y'all next time.
All coons look alike to me.
Some of you white people too. Some of y'all look like you came from 8 Mile.
We're halfway through, no one's been shot yet.
But I'm going to say at the Grifty Awards, there's only one person more arrogant, more self-assured than me, and that's Hotep Jesus.
Grifter of the Year.
Clap it up for old Uncle Hotep.
Hopefully my kids will watch this and be inspired and stuff like that.
Fuck them kids.
I'm looking for my wallet. I'm like, oh, thank God he didn't take it. Thank God.
All right, we back, waiting for Goldstein to hit the Lizon. Waiting for Goldstein to call in. We gotta get Goldstein in here. I want y'all to call in. When y'all call in, make sure y'all ask questions, but text first so we can get the order right. I want y'all to have questions when y'all call in, please. Says this slave story is not unique to black people. Of course not. That should go without being said, no? That's why women were more cooperative back then. Oh, man. Don't let Quentin Tarantino know about this story? Man, listen. Did he have any Indian/native slaves? That's a good question. Probably. Sure.
Call from Murphy's Law Rescue.
Yo, Goldstein, what up, man? Happy Monday, man.
Happy Monday. What's happening?
What's happening, bro?
Same old shit.
Yep.
I want to start off with my question.
Okay.
So my question is, how come Doe left off the fact that was Uncle Hotep's great-great-grandfather? How'd he leave that out?
That's fucked up.
Great. How'd he do that, man? That's scary.
Oh, man.
Nah, but really, though, I think if Uncle would have outdid him, dude had 176, Uncle would have had 177.
Unc definitely would have had him some slaves. He had his slaves in check, too.
Man. Nah.
Oh, man.
But look
at you Shans out there in the field. Look at you Shans. You're lazy. I'm going to have somebody remind me to ask Uncle Hotep how he would treat his slaves. What are some rules he would have for his slaves if he was a slave master. You know, because we got to destroy this notion that only white people were slave masters. It really distorts the race dynamic in America.
Yeah, it makes it seem like we just some perpetual suckers.
Word.
I ain't trying to listen. Nigga. We can get grimy too. God damn it.
Yeah.
We owned we owned quite a bit at one point in time, you know.
Yeah.
We still do in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
If you really get down into the science of it, but I ain't even gonna go there.
Okay. Leave that one alone today.
But look, since we on the topic, full moons, eclipses and shit happening always, you know, all the good shit happens at the beginning of the year, January through May, right up in there. Well, everybody got their little motherfucking shit that they do and have been doing for thousands of years, and of course, the same practices have modernized with the times, but it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got your full moons, your equinoxes, your Easters. You got a bunch of Christians celebrating the pagan holidays, whatever. It's been going on for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just want people to take notice that with everyone else, you know, the Muslims with the Ramadan recently, all that, with everybody else just vibing, right? I want everybody to take notice that the people under that star, 7 days away from an eclipse, what is it they begin to do? I don't know, kick off a war with Iran. So I'm just wanting everybody to peep that out. Because we remember what happened last eclipse.
Yeah.
Last eclipse.
Yeah.
What was it? What was it? What, about 5 or 6 days out from the eclipse? Oh, damn, motherfuckers on paragliders start acting a fool. And it's been bloodshed every day since. Every day since. Yeah. From one eclipse to the next. And now here we are. Iran like, yeah, they gonna pay for this. So
yeah, I'm looking up the eclipses right now. So March 25th was the last recent one. The next one is September 18th. So when September 18th roll around, we got a partial. The last partial was October 28th. And these are all lunar eclipses.
Yeah.
But I think we have like a different type of eclipse. Like,
yeah, back in October, I think it was October 2nd, we had the solar eclipse, the full joint.
Okay.
Right? Out here in Arizona, it went straight black. So it was pretty cool. First one of those I've ever been in. This time around, it's missing us, but it's coming back over America, another full solar eclipse.
October 14th, 2023, annual solar eclipse. Yeah. But that's when it crosses.
What was it? Was it the 14th?
But hold on, let me tell you. Said 2, October 2nd. Let me see what we got. 2. Because it depends on, like, you know, where you experience it. But yeah, they said it was the 14th, so 7 days later.
7 days later.
Yeah, 7 days from the solar eclipse. Like you said when you started, right? 7 days from.
I thought it was 5, but that's even crazier. Now my mind's blown because that's 7 right there, and then this is 7 right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we 7 days out.
Yeah.
So tell me how motherfuckers ain't still on some 2, 3, or 4,000-year-old bullshit on this planet. Tell me when we got another sacrifice getting ready to come up.
Yeah, I think I need an astrologist for this show, man. Somebody that could call in and give us the astrology rundown and tell us what the fuck about to pop off. You know what I mean? Because last week was the it was the eclipse, but the eclipse was in Libra. So, you know, somebody that'll get really like down in the deep in the weeds. So we need somebody to tell us what the fuck is going on next week. Because what is next week? Next week is well, it's what's the name, right?
The eclipse for next week?
No, next week is the holiday, right?
Which one?
Hold on. Oh, who said that? Who's trying to call in? Tell them hold their horses. We're going to get right to them. Don't worry. Passover. Wait, no. Passover was when? Oh, Passover is the 24th. Okay. The 23rd, 24th. Pesach is the 22nd. Okay. All right. So what's next week? I don't know what next week is.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just know that every time motherfucking eclipses happen and weird shit happen in the sky, the motherfuckers is right there. The motherfuckers is right there.
Well,
with some weird shit.
That's because they understand the power.
Yeah,
they understand the power. Like, they understand that what happens on this planet is influenced by the universe. We are a part of a whole, and
that's
they
right.
know, hey yo, such and such coming up. The energy around this time is perfect for manifestations and war and conflict and, you know, these sorts of things. And it's like they use it and everybody deems it evil. And I'm like, nah, they taking something that is neutral and using it for bad, but it can be used for good. That's what people not understanding. Because it's just energy. Like, you know how they talk about the moon and its effect on the waters and the tide and us, and you really see people wild. Everybody wilds out right around the full moon too. So, you know,
this is facts.
So we can't.
So,
the
yeah.
thing is, the way they hold power, the way the Malachians hold power is through taking the ancient knowledge of our ancestors, using it for evil, then teaching us that the magic is evil. And then everybody goes, look, Illuminati, da-da-da-da. And you like, no, your ancestors discovered this synergy between the planets and this ma'at with math. You see what I'm saying? Because math is ma'at, and ma'at is math. You can't have math without ma'at. You can't do the equation without ma'at. You can't do it with chemistry without ma'at. You know what I'm saying? So our ancestors have discovered all of this. We just have to remind people that just because people are doing magic 7 days from a solar eclipse doesn't mean that doing magic 7 days from the solar eclipse is bad. That's what I want to be very careful of.
Yes, I got to differentiate. I'm saying right now, doing sacrifices 7 days before or after an eclipse is bad. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's because that's what they seem to be into.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, when we check the calendar, you know, if any motherfucking secret services and or, you know, intelligence arms happen to be listening to the stream today, keep that in mind. Yeah, keep that in mind, plan it out.
They always listening.
Yes.
They always listening.
Yeah.
What up, y'all? Shout out to the Deep State. Appreciate you for being here. You know what I mean? Just keep my file clean, man. Just let them know I ain't here to cause no trouble, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the understanding I have with the Deep State. The Deep State knows I'm not here to fuck their game up because I'm a player. You see what I'm saying? And the Deep State has recognized that. They still got to keep eyes on me, but they know I'm a player. You know what I mean? And when you're a player, you don't hate the game. You play the game. You see what I'm saying? I know the game of humanity. People try to make it seem like this is a game of capitalism and jewelry and bad banking. And I'm like, this is a case of balancing and finding ma'at for the human ego. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to hate on nobody else's game. I'm just here to play. You know what I mean? All I got to say is when it comes to the government, you know, call me up. Let me revise my contract. That's all I ask. Because at the end of the day, you gonna have a month. I'm not an anti-status. I'm not an anti-status. I think the older I get, the more status I become. I just don't like this state. This state. You know, people talk about communism, right? And then we joke and be like, hey, man, China ain't looking too bad right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because
That's
we
right.
see all the, you know, the tea stuff and the way they ain't respecting you. But then
That's
be
right.
like, and then we joking and we get all our products from China. To me, I'm just like, do you even understand how this human thing works?
Man.
But, you know, anyway.
Look, the fall of all this debauchery is coming soon, but I just ask that no one revel in it too much because it's a deception. Now, I do want to say this last thing in closing.
Uh-huh.
You know why we're so good at minimizing stress? Like why we can manage stress so well as men?
Yeah, why?
Ladies, if you're listening, you know why? Because we minimize the shit we stress over. Y'all stress over. Y'all, you know, I'm aware that the human being only has 100 points of motherfucking energy that it's able to fucking distribute throughout its existence at any given time throughout many different endeavors. You stretch yourself too thin when you're sitting there stressing over what color should this blouse be and all that other weird ass shit, right? You keep your stresses to a minimum, then you're able to stress real good in the areas you need to. Now, shout out, huh?
We might have to argue on that one, Goldstein.
Maybe. I got to formulate the argument because I just made that shit up.
I know. I agree with your premise, not the example. If that makes sense. I agree with
I see what you're saying.
I don't think the problem is women focus on their looks.
Nah,
I think
not
they
the
don't
looks.
focus on their
Shit.
looks enough.
Oh goddamn! But I took a left.
You see what I'm saying here? That's why I said, like, that's why I like talking to you, because we get into these deep conversations. So peep this, right? Like, how does a woman find beauty? A woman has found beauty in the concept of trinkets, and at the same time has lost beauty in her own feminine body.
Hotep, you're a genius. Hotep Jesus.
They don't focus on being beautiful enough. They focus on masking the beauty. Sometimes you ever see a big girl and be like, damn, if you drop 60 pounds, you'd be a dime.
Yeah, I see that.
When the body is in ma'at, everybody is beautiful. Even the women be like, yo, this. Like, I've seen dudes criticize all types of male actors and be like, yo, this nigga ugly. Why do women like him? I'm like, do you see the shape his body's in?
That's right. That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying? Like, beauty is the whole being. And youth comes from how well you circulate that blood through your body.
That's right. You know how I know this is true? This is how I know this is true, bro.
Yeah.
Because one of the most beautiful people that I know, and I know she's got controversy, so don't come at me, bros. But one of the most motherfucking beautiful people that I know is Maya Angelou.
Okay.
And she looks like a Planet of the Apes sage in the face.
Yeah.
But she's beautiful. So I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yes. When you clean the soul, when the ego reflects the beauty of the soul, that's what I want to say. When the beauty reflects the ego of a soul, you know, sometimes they say people, this is a whole separate conversation. I'm gonna come right back. They say people of different ethnicities speak better than other people, and they say the black people talk too slow sometimes. Sometimes when we take our time to weave the tapestry of these sentences, they're slow because they're prettier. Anyway, let's come back. Where was I?
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much give a special shout out to fucking Gothics and her documentary. That was some crazy shit. Gothics, you out of control for that one. Now you sound like Bizarro nose ring bitch.
Yeah, it sounds like a progressive.
That's right. You sound like, I thought you was when I first seen you on this show.
Yeah.
I followed you for some time after that, but then you started going left on some other shit.
Yeah.
So then I just knew you were just another wounded soul, like one of them blue-haired motherfuckers that scream every time they hear Trump. My advice for all of y'all is the same, and it ain't got nothing to do with politics. It's got everything to do with get your motherfucking shit together.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Oh, me, shut your ass up. Do you know what's happening right now? Do you know what times we're living in? Oh, me, they don't like me for I'm not black. Shut your ass up. They don't like me because I ain't black. They don't like me because I am black. All of you motherfuckers is fried the fuck out. Shut up. That's all I got.
I appreciate you, yo. Oh, Lord Jesus. Hotep and Bill. Shout out to Gothics. I like Gothics. I think she's cool. Her boyfriend cool. You know. I like her. But that's not it. We got to do better, yo. Just call me up, yo. Like, for real, this is what I really want. For all the grifters that watch this show, all the producers, right? Especially the producers that watch it. Hit me up. We will keep it between us. Hit me up. Y'all need help producing content? Hit me. We got hits for days. I could do this in my sleep. Hit me up. We'll clean you up. We'll give you a brand, because that's what you're missing. The thing is, you're following the Griff instead of creating the brand. What is your brand? I hate the left. That's not a brand. Sorry to tell you. It's not a brand. It's not only not a brand, if it is a brand, it's a failing brand. Stop it. Get some help. Heal. Find who you are. You have not found who you are. I need you to go find who you are before you come on the internet looking like a copycat, spewing ignorant rhetoric. We don't want to hear it. You're just making it dirtier. All because you see somebody get a check from Elon. Stop it. Stop it. What are you going to do when Elon cuts that check? What are you going to do if he cuts that check? What are you going to do if he minimizes that check? The other day, I made a video a few weeks back about how people started complaining because their checks went down. And I covered it. I said, that's the nature of business. They cut back. Best practices. And then last week we heard, oh, Elon, I got the biggest check I done got. Yeah. So I found a new way that you guys can monetize. They playing ads now on your profile. Okay. Another avenue of sharing. Great. But is that what you're doing it for? Are you doing it for the advertisers? Because I thought we all agreed that the advertisers were the bad guys. You know, the same advertisers that create ad campaigns around that visibility day. Find a skill. Find a skill and do God's work. It's that simple. It's that simple. Find a skill and do God's work. Don't just come out here grifting. It's ugly. It's not good for anybody. Yes, you might not get 100,000 clicks. You might only get 10,000. You might. But you know what? In 3 years, all these accounts that you see, they'll be gone. They're going to take that money and they're going to go. Some of them will be back when that money runs out because it wasn't enough money to begin with. It wasn't a lot of money to begin with. They thought it was enough. Never enough. They'll be gone. Some of them will attempt and never make a single dime. Some of them will attempt and make decent money trying to chase that grift, and they'll be gone. Do you know who will be here? Do you know who's been here? You know that This is a decade we've been in business.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Next year marks a decade since Hotep Jesus told you BLM was a rainbow agenda. Marks 10 years. What does that tell you? I'm not here for a good time. I'm here for a long time. I'm going to watch all these people go. And we're going to build our house brick by brick, syscoin by syscoin. Little by little, little by little. We're just going to build our house over the cut. Nobody even going to notice. One day it's going to be a one-story building. Then it's a 2. By the time they look up, we'll have a full skyscraper. Matter of fact, by the time they look up, Hotepistan will be built.
Hotep.
By the time they realize, little by little, this is how you want to live your life. Everybody wants it right now. But what are you doing to get that right now? You selling your soul? People talk about that term, selling your soul. How can you sell your soul? Well, Goldstein said you got 100 increments of life. 100 increments of totality is how we understand things, 100%. So if the soul has 100 increments of time to express on a daily basis, and you're wasting them, you've sold your soul. Because that time could have been spent expressing your soul, but instead you said, I'm not going to live this life. I'm not going to play in the simulator via my soul. I'm going to allow somebody to lease that time, to rent that time and buy that time. For what? For a couple of dollars? I got to be honest with y'all. It's never enough. Never enough. You know when I learned it was never enough? I had this lesson very early on. Everybody knows I was a music artist, thanks to Demick, Jersey Demick. And me and him formed a group, and through him we were able to accomplish a lot. Everybody knows the guy who saved my life. That's how I want him to remember the guy who saved me. And we struggled, and we built little by little, little by little. And I finally landed that gig with 50 Cent. With 50 Cent. I'm not with 50 Cent, but I'm working with him. We've done, several shows together now. And I wrote the marketing plan for the marketing launch, which is an interesting story I want to tell now. So, actually, let me play the video. I haven't done this in a long time. Let me play the video, if it still exists. It might not. If not, I got it saved. I got it saved on what's, and I'm gonna come right back to my point. You know what I'm saying? This is when I had the shit locks. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's pull this up. And I'm gonna come right back to my point. Let's pull this up just in case y'all ain't see this.
What's up? This is 50 Cent coming to you live.
Who said get rich or die grifting? I like that.
Right now, we're riding through the city. It's a beautiful day. I'm enjoying myself. This is exciting. Bones, tombstones, how dare you think I'm kidding? It's home, sweet home, the land of the forbidden. This is getting better and better as we go, people.
Freaking.com. I'm on the bus with 50 Cent. You don't believe me? Come over here. 50 Cent right here. I got the SK snapbacks. You ain't know they had snapbacks.
So we doing all this, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Y'all go watch the video. It's on my thing. Just type in 50 Cent, Hotep Jesus, right? So we do the whole bus thing. And I made it. Like my dream, like I'm at Shady Records. I'm at the G Unit office. I got access. I'm finally on the inside. I got access. I was at Def Jam when they were designing 2 Chainz logo. Had access. Sony was right across the street. I had access. 2 years later, I wanted more. That didn't satisfy me. I got inside and I'm like, this is it. This is what it's like. It's underwhelming. Underwhelming. And then that's when you start to realize, like, what is it that we're trying to attract in our lives? What is it that we're trying to attract? You know? And that's when I realized. And I was like, I was on the inside and I had all the access. I remember one time my homeboy hit me up, right? So this is after all of this. My homeboy hit me up and I got a bunch of stories with this guy. So he hits me up. Usually he hits me up because he has a client and he needs to close them. So he usually calls me to close the deal. So he calls me up and, you know, damn, I'm thinking about all the deals he didn't send me to close. Oh shit. There's a bunch of them. All right, so let's start with this. So dude wants a website done. He wants marketing, blah, 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 right? 30 minutes, just to make a long story short, 30 minutes go by. The dude says to me, all right, I'll send you a check for $5,000 tomorrow. My friend called me back. Yo, how you do that? I'm like, yo, you gotta shut the fuck up. He talked too much. That's his problem. He tries to sell the product. You know what I'm saying? He always tries to sell the product. And it's just not, that's not the way in sales, right? It's not the way. Anyway, so this other time he invites me and it's beautiful. We downtown New York, beautiful office. And we walk in and it's a meeting. It's me, my homie, and this other white dude. And we have the meet. We begin the meeting and everybody introduces themselves. And then I was the last one to introduce myself. The funny thing is we had already talked about things for like 15 minutes before we actually had got to introductions. And when they got to me and I introduced who I was, the dude was like, oh shit, I've been looking for you. This is what the dude says. I've been looking for you. Hold up, what's your number? Starts. And when we leave, my friend like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, I'm trying to tell you, when I was in New York, I tore that shit apart. Like I was everywhere. I had access. I was everywhere. I wasn't at no Diddy parties though. I had access. So I busted my ass. When I worked for 50, I busted my ass. Anybody could tell you I busted my ass. And he was like, yo, I'm looking for you. I need your help. Because they seen my promo in New York City. I put that shit on blast and everybody knew that. You know what I'm saying? So that just to show you my level of hustle. Okay, that's my level of hustle. And you do that level of hustle, you have all that access. 2-3 years later doing the same work, you're like, this shit ain't all it's cracked up to be. So when you're one of these political grifters and you come out here and you're doing all this stuff and you're selling your soul, I'm like, yo, at some point you're going to wake up and realize it wasn't worth it because what you got wasn't nothing. You didn't get nothing. What'd you get out of it? You gotta want more for yourself. You gotta understand what happiness is. That's really what this comes down to. What is happiness for you? You know, a lot of people can't answer that question. They can't tell you what's happiness for them. They'll tell you about all the things they want to buy, but like after you get that car, then what? And everybody should know this. When you was a kid, you know you got that toy, and the next day you felt like different because that toy wasn't as special to you no more. I felt that before. I was conscious. I was very conscious about that. Damn, that was a favorite toy like just a week ago. I don't even play with them. You know what I mean? Back when kids played with toys. You know. So check this out. Same frame, right? Now this was a website. This is a website. And I used to tell him, I'm like, yo, if you just get the deals, I could close them and we could just work together. But he had his own vision, so whatever. And I didn't want to do his vision. I wanted to do a scaled down version of his business, which I thought would have moved a lot faster. Because he had a really big idea. Like, let's start with that little piece and then grow into that, like books, and then books grow into Amazon, you know? But he wanted to push everything. Can't do that. So he calls me up and he's got a client and they're working on, they got a couple of celebrities. One of them was Stan Lee, you know, the creator of Marvel. And, you know, they had some Chief Keef. They, who we had? We had Chief Keef. We had Stan Lee. We had some MMA fighters. And we were producing, at the time, you probably would call it NFTs. Like, if it was updated, you probably call it NFTs, right? So anyway, he calls me up with the dude. And me and the dude get to talking. And then my homeboy, he said something on a phone call. So I muted everything and I texted him, shut up. This is that. I texted him just like that. I probably shouldn't have used that language, but he kind of took offense to it. But that's another story. So my point is, like, just be quiet. Let me close the deal. And matter of fact, if we hit today's goal, I'll tell you how to close the deal. If we hit today's goal, we're at $26. We hit 44. I'll tell you how to close the deal. So he's, you know, I told him, shut the fuck up. And we didn't close the deal, right? Like a week or two goes by and I get an email from the dude on the phone. I guess, you know, it was passed through my friend or whatever. Just got a Cash App. V Trizzle, appreciate you. $10 super just came in on the Cash App. We can add $10. We had 36 right now. Tell you how to close that. So 2 weeks later, a week, 2 weeks later, a month, I can forget what it was. I want to say it was like a month. Dude reaches out and gets on the phone. He's, hey man, yo, like, remember that day we got to talk? I was like, yeah. He's like, I like what you were saying, but I don't want to work with your friend. What he told me straight up. Don't want to work with your friend. Damn. Oh, well, what kind of business would you like? And I closed a big deal with him. But, you know, We worked together for a little bit of time. And that was super dope. But it's because he don't know how to close a deal. So because he don't know how to close a deal, he ends up in situations where he just, you know, life becomes discouraging. Let's just say that. Let's just say, you know, when you're not closing deals, life's not fun. You know, I know what that's like. I used to work in the mortgage industry, and for anybody like that, I would tell you is if you're in any type of sales position and quota, the only real way to really excel at that shit is, and most shit really, life period, about momentum. Create momentum. You know, when you start something and you keep going. Thomas LaFontaine, $4 super. Oh, we just hit our goal. Hotep Sage, $20 super.
The Hotep brother.
Appreciate you. Thomas LaFontaine, $4. Appreciate you. V Trizzle, $10. All right, I'm gonna teach y'all how to close. All right, y'all ready? Get your fucking pencils out, your notepads, and all of that. Okay. Now, we're gonna start off with a very basic premise. Who's ever talking is losing. If you're in a job interview, whoever's talking is losing. If you really know your subject matter, all of your responses are questions. So now that's going to lead to number 2. Question. The questions you ask dictate if you're qualified enough. I told this story before. Working at a startup. And I asked to start up a very simple question. I said, what's your moat on this project? And we got to talking. And the little white girl in the cut, you know, paying her whatever he was paying her, she turned around. She was like, what's a moat? So she didn't even comprehend the conversation we having. She's a commoner. She don't study this. She just come to get a job. She don't study this life shit. I studied this life shit. So I asked him, what's the moat on this? And he said it was the technology. That's an interesting way. But when I asked him that question, he knows. And he says to her, he says something along the lines of, he's asking investor-related questions. He's asking investor-related questions. That's what he told her. Like, oh, okay. And that's a very investor-related question. You know? So, and it's and in the world of being an investor, that's a very basic question to ask. So when you're in a job interview or you're in a sales format, when you study a particular industry, for example, if I said to you, you know, we were on a conversation and we were talking about canned goods, and I said, well, you know, how many doors are you looking to open this year? A lot of people don't know that language of, that's called distribution. That's basically saying, you know, how many 7-Elevens are you in? How many Targets are you in? They call them doors, right? So how many doors are you going to open this year? Right? So when you ask these questions, it lets people know, okay, you're an insider. You understand this industry, right? So if you really understand something or understand a business and really cut right to the root, for example, I have this ability of getting, I'm gonna show you really sales. We're dealing with pain here, right? And what I have this ability to do is ask questions about the pain and sort of through my questions, predict your pain before you even tell me. Okay? Because usually they'll tell you their pain point. And sometimes I'll hop into the conversation asking them questions about their pain point, and they go, oh shit, yeah, you know exactly what I'm going through. And now they think I'm a fucking genius.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
When really the truth is, I just know entrepreneurship. I understand how to create a business. I know what the pain points are. I am you. Right? So when they come into the conversation, I'm hitting their pain points right away, right? And the better you know that position or that service and the benefits it provides and the pain points, the better you know it, the deeper you can dive into their problems down to the granule. When you ask these questions, will impress them, which makes the sale. They're sold already. I don't have to sell anymore. I've already convinced you I'm a fucking genius. Then the next level, understanding the problem and how they think. Now, this is very important here, how they think you will solve their problem. Because you might believe you need to solve their problems X, Y, Z. But they might believe they need to use X, Y, Z to solve their problem. So what you're arguing on here is, what's the prescription? Is it your prescription or their prescription? And then one thing you got to identify is, are they open to your prescription, or do they only want to use theirs? And this is where my friend fell apart before. He'd come in and he'd say, here's what you really need. And they'd be like, nah, but just do this. I'm a nigga to be like, what do you need? Because you got to pay for my prescription, but you got to pay me to think about even giving you my prescription. So I'm already holding on to my prescription. I'm not ready to give that. I'm not ready to offer a solution. What do you think the solution is? Oh, you think the solution is X, Y, Z? Good. Now I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions to let me know if you're even open to other prescriptions. For example, I can say something like, have you thought about any other idea? Well, you know, and then they might say, what the prescription is that you are going to say. They might say, we also thought about, SEO or something. And you're an SEO specialist. You can get ROI for them. And that's the best way for them. You might go, okay. You want to put that? Would you like to add that to the menu? Another question. Would you like to add that to the list of services that we might be able to offer? What kind of budget you working with here? How much you looking to spend? What's the least you can spend? Let's start there. What's the least amount you want? Don't tell me the most. What's the least amount? If you ask somebody a question like that, this is more of like when you think you're dealing with an amateur, right? Because with a pro, you want to go to the big number. But you can ask an amateur or somebody who's getting started, what's the least amount? Your low end. And the low end, you can kind of get away with this big dogs too, but the low end is sort of sneaky because people who want cheap products don't understand the business. And that's why I say they're probably an amateur. You know what I'm saying? Usually when you set a high, like, give me a range, right? And see what that is. But usually when people want cheap products, you don't want them as a customer either. So if they want cheap services at cheap prices, you don't want them. You want people that come in. You want customers like me. Be like, yo, what's the job? 2K? All right, here's a 2K. Fucking do the job. Leave me the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to tell you how to do your job. Just do your fucking job. And that's how, usually people spend. And we know how much to expect to pay for the service that we ask. So usually when somebody comes in, they already know how much they're supposed to pay. That's another thing. That's how you won't have to ask these questions if it's a big dog. You kind of both know. They already know how much they're expecting to pay. You won't even have to ask them. Somebody at the big dog be like, yo, they might lead with that. Yo, we got $100K budget. We're looking to spend it here, and here. How can you help us? You know what I'm saying? We got $20K allocated to content. What can you do with, they already know the game. It's usually these amateurs that you got to ask these fucking questions. And a lot of you might be dealing with amateurs, right? Like people that just don't know that industry, right? So you might have to explain shit to them like that. So we covered that. We covered questions, right? Last piece to selling. Like I said, whoever's talking is losing, right? At the end of the phone call, this is very important. At the end of the phone call is the summary. It's very important. Okay, so had a wonderful talk with you today. As we start to land this plane, I just want to summarize what we covered today. So looking like, some of the problems we're facing here are X, Y, and Z. And it looks like some solutions we like to explore X, Y, Z. I'm going to go back, talk to my partner, and, send you a quote. Okay? Good job. But a question you want to ask is, how soon would you like to start? It's a very important question. How soon would you like to start? And a lot of what you do is contingent upon that number or that date, right? Or when they want that to happen. A lot of what you want to do is going to be contingent upon that. And it tell you sort of how serious they are and, where you classify them in your leads, X, Y, Z. But when they try to pull out of the sale, that summary is what you read back to them, right? So if I was selling you a mortgage and it was to, fix something in the house and your wife was complaining about it, I'd be like, hey, bro, man, you really want to wait another 45 days with that bad thing in your house that your wife was telling you about? We might as well we close this right now, man. I'm telling you right now, we get this done. I could send it over to the underwriter, have something back within 24 hours. I don't know anybody else in the industry that could do something like that for you. And we could lock you in at the best rate of the day right now. All right. I'm going to send the paperwork over. All right, say less. You know what I'm saying? You repeat back that summary to him. Tell him, you said you wanted this. You was going to do this, right? Because what we was doing cash outs. So they would say things like, I'm going to fix the roof and and fix up the garage. And this is where, you know, questions get interesting, right? I'm like, oh, you fixing up the garage? What are you gonna do with the garage? And he starts saying, like, really getting into it, like, you know, I work on cars, so I want to bring this thing, da 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 da. What kind of car you got? Oh, I got the Mustang, da da da. So when he tried to pull out the sale, I'm like, bro, I thought you was trying to build the Mustang. We get the Mustang in the garage by the weekend, bro. Let's close this deal. What are we doing? Those are why questions, you know, really KYC, know your customer, right? Know them. Know what they had for breakfast. Know their pet's name. That was an easy one. That was an easy one we used to use in sales was, you know, anytime you on the phone with a potential lead, ask them if they got pets. You hear a pet in the background, listen for shit like that. And write the name of the pet, every detail about the pet. Because some people get to talking, so you write down all the details about the pet. And yo, sometimes when you do that shit to people, they pause on the phone like, damn, did I really get this nigga all the information about? So they be wanting to close the deal because they like, damn, what else does he know about me? All right, I need to keep this nigga close, right? So this is why you want to write down all this information. And Hotep Shark Tank, listen, man, this is my subject right here. First of all, this is my subject. We be talking about all this other shit. My subject is business. This is what I do. And I love Shark Tank because, you know, I usually, you know, I like pretending, you know, that, you know, I can invest in these businesses and being, you know, I'm out. I love saying that shit. I'm out. That's my shit. Yeah. So that's my take on sales. Shut the fuck up, man. You want to be a good salesman? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and KYC. Okay. Some of y'all gonna take what I said and turn it into a full course and sell it and start showing it. Just make sure you say that. Shut the fuck up and KYC. That's the name of my sales course. Shut the fuck up and KYC. STFU and KYC. Damn, I gotta write. That's I got a sales course coming soon. Sales course coming soon. Make sure y'all subscribe for that announcement. HotepJesus.com.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Yeah, no. Hotep Sage, I appreciate you. Appreciate all my cash appers. All right, let's take a look at the drudge. I think I said all I had to say about the sales. I think you get the point. STFU and KYC, all right? That's how you sell. Talking too much. And, you know, no car has this and it comes with this and it comes with that. Nigga, I don't care about none of that shit you talking about. All I needed to do is have the back seat flip up easy. Can you do that? Can you make sure the back seat flip up easy? That's what be wrong with these car salesmen. I mean, these car salesmen, some of the words, you talking too much. You don't even know what I want. Ask me what I want and why I want it. What you looking for today? Yeah. What kind of features do you like in the car? What are your favorite features in the car? What are your must-haves? That's what I would ask. What are your must-haves? What I would ask. What do you gotta have? You like the camera, the rear view camera? What do you know? What do you like? What do you like? What do you like? Tell me what you like. Anyway. Who the hell is this nigga? Israel kills top Iran general, Damascus consulate, flattened. Damn. This must be what Goldstein was talking about. Get low, motherfucker. Didn't we say last week it was about to get crazy? I think somebody called it. It was crazy. What is this? Strategic blow. Alleged Israeli airstrike takes out Iranian general in Damascus. Strike killed Mohammed Reza. Oh, shit. They killed Zahidi? Nah, this April Fools, right? They killed Zahidi? Hey, yo. Yo, this is what Goldstein was talking about? He says she sells insurance. First thing she does is look at family photos. Word. Opens a customer to talk about themselves. Word. Like she said, most people love their family, right? There you go. Mohammed Reza Zahidi. Mm-mm-mm. I'm sorry, I'm chewing and shit. The food had took. I'm sorry. The salmon salad. I don't even like salmon. Who's cash? Alberto D. Jesus. You the man. Shout out to Alberto. Shout out to the homie Alberto. Appreciate you, Alberto. That's my nigga. And he got my name too. Salute. Zahidi was assassinated in an airstrike on Monday, along with his lieutenant and about 5 other officers. Damn. They killed Zahidi, bro. Oh, they ain't playing. Damn. Is this trending? How's this not trending? Why is this not trending? April Fools is trending. CM Punk, Vontae Davis, Shota, Shakira, Shane, Trump Media. Oh, here we go. Number 9, Iranian. Okay. Here we go. Israel targeted the Iranian consulate. Damn, they got the consulate? Wow. Damn. Yo, hold on, son. Wait, time out. Come on, let's stop playing around. April Fools, right? It's not real. There's no. Yo. Hold on a second. Damn. Bruh. Oh, this what Goldstein was talking about? Damn. That's insane. Said, didn't the left spaz when Trump killed the Iran general? Probably did. Shout out to Protocol in the chat.
Oh, this is the Hotep brother.
Spotlight said Iranian generals been getting wiped with no get back for a little while now. Goldstein said 7 days out. 7 days out. 7 days out. Yeah, it's getting spooky. It's definitely getting spooky. Yo! I respect the gangster. Like I told you, I respect gangster. I respect gangster. You know, I'm a guy of power, all right? I'm a fan of Caesar. Does anybody know the story of Caesar? Maybe we need to just go ahead and let's just, you know, this is why they say do as the Romans. Let's see if we can find Caesar's story. And let's see how they tell it, right? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. Uh-huh. Hold on. Wait, is this the right Caesar too? Yeah, this is him. No, wait. Hold on. Yeah, this is the right one. This is the right one. All right. Let's see if we can pull this up. Caesar's story is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And in order to understand Caesar, you have to understand his father. So we got to go to Gaius Marius. Okay. Now, damn, that's all they got on him. All right, here we go. That's all we got. Caesar was married to Aurelia. Two daughters. Caesar was a commissioner in the colony. Oh no. Wiki's not gonna be thorough enough. Hold on. Let me geek out. Hold on. I gotta go to the Russian. Hold on. I gotta go to the Russian. Hold on. No, not that. Different. This. Okay. Damn. All right, let me show you. Let me show you where I'm at so far. Found this page. Historipedia. No. Okay, right here. So Caesar grew up in a wealthy political family, and as such, he was expected to follow traditions and enter politics. Caesar will become a parent, almost followed tradition too well throughout his life, and angered political leaders, even the Roman Senate. Beginning his career in his adolescent years, Caesar started off on dangerous footing. The two political leaders at the time, Marius and Sulla, controlled the political scene, and while Caesar tended to form connections with Marius supporters, particularly with his marriage to the daughter of Marius' supported politician, Sulla gained influence over Marius and dispatched any Marius supporters. Caesar, through his friends and relatives, was able to receive a pardon after he refused to divorce his controversial wife and was exiled. Okay? So his story begins at exile, right? While in exile, I just wanted somebody that was going to tell the story. This is what I was looking for, okay? While in exile and somewhat before then, Caesar learned much about what it would take to be a political and even militaristic leader. Okay? This is very important. You got to read his history. You got to read this story of Caesar. This guy got exiled. How do you get exiled and then come back and rule the world? Great fucking story. While in exile and somewhat before then, he learned what it would take to be a political and even militaristic leader. To begin with, Caesar joined the army as a military assistant to a governor. So the first thing he did was, I want some motherfucking power. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to catch a few bodies.
Oh, this is the Hotep brother.
Caesar said, I'm about to go catch a few bodies. I'm about to get some blood on me. I'm about to literally shed blood. All right. So let's go back. While fulfilling his duties, Caesar also assisted in some successful military campaigns that garnered him support. Despite this, after serving for a short time, Caesar still couldn't return to Rome. So he left the army and began to work on his politics, focusing on public speaking. As Caesar was doing this, Rome was experiencing a political upheaval that resulted in regime change. Now, here's one thing you got to remember: when it comes to we talk about the colonization of Africans, right? We have to understand that these moments of colonization usually come about when the nation's already in turmoil. Okay, so in order for you to invade a nation, it first needs to be corrupted internally, and that's what's interesting about the economic hitman and all of that stuff. That story, right? You know, you know, three-letter agencies creating color revolutions and faux coups and all of that, right? So they try to create something on the inside internally and then attack in, right? So in order for Caesar to rise to power, it took a great amount of timing. Political upheaval was already happening, right? So it's already weak. So this gave Caesar the opportunity he needed and was waiting for to return to Rome and continue his political ambitions, an opportunity he did not take lightly. When Caesar returned to Rome, he completely dedicated himself to politics, all aspects of his life, including his fortune, his choice of wife, and his character all had political implications surrounding them. Everything about him was about the body politic. For example, he married several times and always to a woman that would help boost his political standing and wealth. Supreme grifting. Supreme grifting. Bitch, if you ain't gonna help me, you gotta go. He put all of his fortune, including fortune he obtained through marriage, into politics via parties and bribes. Though this is not uncommon for political office seekers to do, Caesar also spent beyond his own fortunes and took monies from others on loan. So this nigga was risking it all. He believed in himself to go broke to be the king, knowing this could end up disastrous in his political rise if his political rise halted. Caesar worked tirelessly and managed to work his way up the political scheme enough to land a high-end religious position called the Pontifex Maximus, the chief priest. The chief priest. You gotta study Caesar. Okay? In order to understand this game, you gotta understand Caesar. That's why I say I don't deal in freedom, I deal in power. What would Caesar do? Caesar would go, I don't like the political system. Well, I'm gonna take that bitch over. I'm gonna go catch a few bodies and invest in myself. But he hit that third aspect. I shed blood for the country. Now I'm coming for their soul. Pontifex Maximus. Right? Soon after obtaining this position, Caesar was sent to Rome, to Europe, to quell the revolts that were occurring to stabilize the area. Caesar proved successful and gained further political support that he obviously wanted. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this because y'all know the rest of the story. Actually, no, I want to read this part because they mentioned Pompey. After the campaigns in Europe were finished, Caesar returned to Rome on a political high streak, fresh with new experiences and knowledge. Again, you got to get your feet dirty. These people on the internet don't touch no grass. These internet grifters don't touch no grass. And they wonder why they can't touch me. Because you don't touch grass. He quickly formed a crucial alliance with two political leaders of the day, Pompey and Crassus, to form the first triumvirate. This is a very important part of the history. This is a very important part of it. Caesar solidified this alliance by marrying Pompey to his daughter Julia. With their help, Caesar was able to rise to the highest position in Rome, the consul. Through this position, Caesar was able to further improve his popular support by passing popular legislation that reformed such things as tax collection. He was like, I'm going to lower taxes. Niggas going to think I'm dope. After serving the allowed period of a year, Caesar secured himself the position of the governor of Gaul in 58 BC. That Gaul, that's the what's his name? Xerxes. What's that guy's name again? What was that dude's name again? Here we go. Vercingetorix. Caesar versus Vercingetorix. Yeah, Vercingetorix. That motherfucker. Anyway, let's go back. I'm sorry. They had conquered Gaul. All right, so which compromised the modern day region of Middle Europe. Yep. Events that, I think that's the Germans too. Events that conspired soon after, though not by Caesar's hand, resulted in the end of Caesar's traditional Roman political career and threw him into the military campaign that brought him to the steps of Rome and the Roman Empire. So there you go. So again, coming back, everybody be talking about the game, and I'm like, you know, all these guys talk about, all day I dream about Rome. You know that thing they say, men always thinking about Rome. Man, if you dreamt about Rome, you wouldn't be acting like a bitch online. Unless you following behind Caligula. Unless you following the steps of Caligula, who should have never even been emperor. Some of y'all is Caligula and y'all not Caesar. Y'all not Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar left it all on the table, including his daughter.
Oh, this is the Hotep brother.
Oh my God. Yo, those was different times, man. Gaul is France? My bad. France. Those are different times, man. Thank you for the correction, by the way. Thank you for the correction. You said the Pope is still called Pontiff Maxima? Yo, this nigga was Pope, bro. Caesar civilized Gaul. There you go. They told this man, you are exiled. He came back and became Pope. Fuck being emperor. This nigga was Pope. Come on, yo. Caesar was built different. Caesar was built different, man. I'm not saying he was a good man. All I'm saying is we can learn a lot from his hustle, a lot from his story. We can learn a lot from his desire. Because that's what a lot of shit comes back to. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? You know, some days, you know, everybody knows I'm up early and I'm in the gym and then I work and then we do the show and then I train my kids. I take my kids to the gym, you know. It's 12 hours straight just going. You know, thank God I have Apex and Flow to make it seem like it's just easy. You know what I'm saying? And when I don't, I can tell the difference. But it's just how bad do you want it? Like tonight, I'm gonna coach the kids. After I coach the kids, I got 2 hours of chess lesson. After that, we got Hotep's Been Told You 2.0. Patreon.com/Hotep's Been Told You, get access to the Grifties. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how bad do you want it? And are you creating? See, I enjoy my work, but I design my life in such a way that I would enjoy my work, even though I wouldn't be able to exist in greater society anyway. But again, that comes back to what I was saying before. What makes a man a man? Adapting to his environment. If the environment says I can't be a part of that, then I can't make myself a part of corporate America. I can't do it. They've consistently told me I'm not a cultural fit. I'm not fit to be an employee. I'm just not fit to be an employee. I'm not set up like my personality type doesn't make me a good worker. I suck at it. You know? Some people like doing the same thing every day, all day. I like the variety in my life. I saw somebody criticized me the other day. Oh, let me show it to you because I remember where it was. So I get these notifications on YouTube when I log in. Yeah, let me see if I get these notifications pop up right here. I hit them like this. I think that's one. Really weird. And let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Really weird. I might start commenting on YouTube comments live. I might start responding. I might. Hold on. Hold on. That's P-Dog night. Damn, what? Maybe. Oh, it would be the latest. Oh, because I was the latest. So then, hold on, I gotta find the video. I think it was Friday's cat. You need. I think it was Friday's cat. No, there's. Hold on. And Mike. And no. Oh, here we go. So this is the comment right here. And this is what's wrong with people, man. They ain't got no brain. So this person says, Hotep Jesus, politics is corny, right? And this is what I said in the stream. And he says, also Hotep Jesus shows up on Hannity. Well, first of all, I've never been on Hannity. Not to say I wouldn't, but I've never been on Hannity. Shows up on Fox. It's true. I did show up on Fox several times. Streams on political trends. That's true. That's true. I do stream sometimes on political trends. Where's the MAGA hat? That's true. That's true. I do wear a MAGA hat. Talks about WEF and CBDC. This is where he loses me. Right? Because this has nothing to do with politics. Not nothing to do with politics. What did Carol Quigley say? What did Carol Quigley say? Carol Quigley said, let's go right here. Hold on. I'm about to pull this quote up. Carol Quigley says, you cannot understand world history without first understanding money. You cannot understand world history without first understanding money. Anyway, let's go back. And Mike. Let's go back. What else did he say? Talks about central bank. No, central bank ain't got nothing to do with politics. None of this. And he ended off with, stop it, man. You know, the thing is, I'd like to say it's fair criticism, but I think it's just like, sometimes people watch my content to hate and they not just watching the content. Like if you watch the content to hate, you're going to like try and be pedantic and, pick me apart. And it's going to just fall flat because it's like, you're not paying attention. Everybody knows I don't talk about politics on this show. Everybody knows I don't talk about politics. People might call it politics, but I don't talk about politics on this show. The people who cover politics and do a good job at it, these people, like, they know the names of senators and this governor and that state and this person does that. I don't pay attention to none of that. Fuck them governors. Fuck the senators. Fuck the House of Representatives. I don't know these motherfuckers. I'll never be talking about these niggas. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about Congress until Congress does some shit about money. Well, then I'm like, hold up. What the fuck is y'all doing? You just stepped in my lane. So if you think I talk about politics in the show, then you just don't understand politics. Now, we can say I talk about social politics. Maybe say that, right? But I don't come on here talking about, hey, go vote. Don't vote. Go vote. Well, we don't talk about voting on this channel. We don't do that. We don't even talk about elections, really. Well, last time we talked about elections, all we say is it's election season. Get low. But my point is, I like variety and I don't like monotony, which doesn't make me a good employee. I like creating my day, whatever that may be, you know. I like the art of mastering your day. That's fun to me. It's fun to me to master my day. And it's like, here are the must-do things, right? Here are your must-do. Here are the time periods where you can pull this off, right? But I have must-do things. You know what I'm saying? And you know, trying to discover what those are is the fun part. And then optimizing them, like, I got Poom Poom in Pompeii. Shout out to my cash, my supers, people that super chatted. Robert Jones, Marcus Watkins, Kamar Daniel, Hotep Sage. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Shout out to the Syscoin squad. Make sure y'all get some Syscoin. Don't be mad at me when you see another pump. I don't want to hear it. Hotep's been told you. Get in our investment group. I asked a really good question today in the investment group. And I love the feedback we got. So Hotepistan Financial Center, you could join if you want to talk money. Don't come in there talking no other bullshit. We only talking money in that chat. You come in there talking some other bullshit, trying to promote sweet tummy tea or whatever. We banning you. You're getting blocked. We come in here, we talk investing, we talk money, we talk crypto. You dig me? That's what we doing there. That link is in the description box below. It is an open invite to you as a listener. Hey, Zeus, you the man, bro. Yeah. Cannon sent me this. Texas confirms first case of bird flu in human. Yeah, I seen that shit. I seen it. Sorry. All right. I'm gonna finish looking at Drudge and I'm gonna get out of here. Hold on, let me take a look. I don't even know how we got on Caesar. So yeah, we got that bird flu shit that happened. What else is over here on the left column? Let me see what's happening in the column. Everything that says Trump, I usually just try to skip over. I just reminded myself, like, yeah, we don't read that. It goes back to, we don't talk about politics in the show. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of these headlines that got to do with Trump. They say Biden, don't give a fuck. Those are the headlines I don't want to see. Give me some real news. Because all this shit right here is a show. This is the sitcom right here. That's all that is. That's the sitcom. And if I'm in the sitcom mood, I'll look at it. Right now, I'm not in the sitcom mood. Ready or not, self-driving semis coming to America's highways. See? That's a good headline. They hit them with the Bibles intentionally set on fire. Yeah. Ain't that. That's cute. Bird flu. Yeah. That's the, the bird flu situation is the headline is the virus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
The headline's the real virus. I hope y'all catching what I'm throwing down. The headline is the virus. If you dig what I'm saying, I'm not even going to extrapolate. California highway crumbles into ocean. Lord, this is what what's name was talking about. Nostradamus. Damn. See that? That's insane. Big ass chunk of the motherfucking highways in the water now. Part of a roadway on California's Big Sur coast crumbled into the ocean over the weekend after part of the cliff gave way to what officials are calling a slip out. Oh, ew. A slip out. Part of famed California highway. It's probably like 2 people on this road all day. They talking about famed highway. Anyway, let's go back. Somebody tell me how much traffic goes across that road. I'm just willing to bet it's very low. But I could be wrong. Gold prices hit another record high on Fed cut expectations. Okay. SEC investigates the Fed. That's a good headline. I was like, oh shit. Driver rams FBI Atlanta gate. United asked pilot to take unpaid time off, citing Boeing delayed aircraft. Was he black? I believe he was black. Got his picture there. Damn, missed opportunity. Sometimes you gotta look for the grift. Sometimes. It's gotta be funny though. Gotta be funny. And non-offensive both sides. For data guzzling AI company. Internet is too small. We know what they're saying here. You know what they're saying here, right? They need to plug more people into the machine. That's that Neuralink headline right there. For data guzzling AI companies, internet is small. Need more people hooked up. Florida Supreme Court allows strict state abortion ban to take effect. Vote set for November. Bad idea. It's unconstitutional. Good idea in Hotepistan. Bad idea. Haiti declared open air prison as gang violence reaches apocalyptic levels. All right, this is where we stop. All right. Oh, come the fuck. Oh, fuck. Give me a fucking break. Come the fuck on. See, Haiti's the open air prison. Oh man, come on, yo. Come on, yo. The UN didn't say that. Please tell me the UN didn't say that. Please tell me. Come on. Stop it. Where? Port-au-Prince and the surrounding areas, essentially an open-air prison. There's no way out. Air, land, or sea. In fact, it's not even so open air anymore because people are afraid to leave their houses. Oh. Ronan said it too. He did call this shit. Hotep's been told you.
Oh, this is the Hotep brother.
Ronan got one. Oh, this headline has got me tickled. Haiti's the open air prison. Not Israel, not Gaza. Haiti. Haiti's the open couple of gangs. This is good. This is good. This is good comedy. This is why I say politics is like it's the sitcom, because it's like you gotta just laugh at this shit. It's fucking hilarious. As soon as we get to a political headline, this is just a joke. This is a UN report. This is insane. This is an insane headline. This is one of those moments where they say the jokes write themselves. Every day, April Fool's Day, word. When did this headline come out? This headline came out today. Headline came out. Look at the image that they choose. Look at the image. Haiti has been described as open air prison. Image by Getty. How is this image related? That's what I'd like to know. Image is probably completely and totally unrelated. In the same article, they say nobody want to come outside. There's a bunch of people outside. Same article. Is there a live camera on Port-au-Prince? Let's see if there's a live camera. Let's take a look. Damn. This image is temporarily unavailable. Okay, here's one. Let's see. People outside. I guess all of these are gang members. Look at all these gang members just going to work and traveling in the open air prison. Hold on, son. Hold on. It's got to be AI generated. Let's see. This is US 1. Oh, this is Florida. Hold on. This is Florida. Hold on. I landed on a Florida camera by accident. So we got cameras. Let's see if there's any other live cameras in Haiti. Live camera is the Food Network. Oh, excuse me. All right, this one doesn't have any live cams. Let's oh no, that's the let's see if the camera works. So we got one camera screenshot. This one's not up. I'm gonna check YouTube next. Haiti webcams in Caribbean islands. Yeah, I can't believe Magnus won today, y'all. Well, I can because it's Magnus, but Richard Rapport was winning. He was completely winning. It was mate in 14. It was a really hard game. I'm not going to. Magnus had a queen left. Rapport had 2 rooks. Magnus does it again. Magnus does it again. I'm going to have to go review the games today from Magnus and Rapport. Rapport is my fave. I don't know if you guys know this, but Richard Rapport is my favorite chess player. My favorite chess player. Damn. Magnus king of endgame, man. He king of endgame. He's the king of endgame. Just gotta know your endgame. Hold on, I'm still looking for live cams. Camera not available. Damn. All right, maybe it is open air prison. Let me see if we can watch the one in Jamaica. Let's see if we can watch a live stream in Jamaica. Let's see. No live feeds on YouTube either? This one ain't loading. Jamaica. Site's fucking slow. Let's see. New York. Well, New York's one doesn't work either. Also, I got spam blockers on this browser. Hold on, let me open a different browser, and I'm gonna try it on that browser. If it works on that browser, I'll bring it. Hold on. All right, so this is the Haiti. Let's go over here. Let's go Firefox. This is investigative journalism. This is investigative journalism. Damn, look at hit me with ads and shit. Nah, that camera's not a. All right. All right, let me check Russia. We gotta check Russia yet. No. Ads on the internet, boy. Looks like I think I got a feed. I think I got one. What time is it there? I got a feed. It's taking a while to load, it looks like, but it should be daytime. Storage overload, maximum count of free users. That one ain't working. That one ain't working. Let me see. I'm just trying to make sure I don't hit the wrong type of webcam, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to be very careful. You hit the wrong webcam, man. It's like, yo, Hotep Jesus wilding on YouTube. What's this one? That's 8 years ago. Could you imagine? What is this? All we got was a screenshot of that highway. I want a live stream. I'm sure I could find one. I'm stubborn. Gotta be a live stream. Nobody got a fucking live stream. Where's the live stream? What's this? Can't read the language. Like fucking light. And a lot of weather. They gonna have a OnlyFans Haitian edition and shit on motherfucking screen. Little badass Haitian bitch. All right, let's go to YouTube. Somebody said you can't find one on YouTube. All right, watch this. I'm gonna type in I'm gonna go Port-au-Prince. Right? I don't know if that's how you say it. And then I'm gonna change the filter. Change the filter to live. Okay, live cam around the world. That's not what I want. Times Square, Australia, Paris. That is not Paris. Oh, they say. Oh, this is this it? I think we found one. Is this it? It's a lot of people outside. These gangs or what? Somebody help me out here, man. This is definitely some form of French, so this might be. Matter of fact, I need somebody to translate. Where's the AI? Where's the AI? I need the AI to do translate. Oh, Candy, you can call in, yo. Spotless, you can call in. I'm just now seeing y'all. I'm on to tell ChatGPT to translate. ChatGPT translate. All rights reserved. Position of the leader was anticipated during a conference call Wednesday. Money. 7 measures. Protagonist of the crisis. Presidential council. What? This looked like a celebration. Hold on, I need the chat's help. Hold on. Chat, what is this? He says, is that an open air barbecue? Come on, Adrian. It looked like a party in Haiti, bro. It looked like they outside partying. They said it's an open air prison. They said it's an open air prison, and everybody outside look like they having a party. Yo, Spotless, what's good, yo?
Yo, what's going on?
What up, yo?
All right, so I had a question. It wasn't related to this Haitian thing, right? I was reading somewhere that Bitcoin is due to have what they call the quartering.
Having.
Sometime in the next year or something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of an elusive thing, but it's within the next. It's in the next few weeks maybe.
So you got some insight on what that is? That what exactly that means?
Half the Bitcoin supply disappears.
Disappears.
Yeah. I'm about to hold on, let me get you the definition right now. Hold on.
All right.
Okay, the halving is a planned reduction in the rewards miners receive. I'm sorry. I take that back. The block mine reward is cut in half. Halvings happen once every 4 years or so, more precisely every 210,000 blocks of transaction. So half the rewards get slashed.
So the miners are getting half of what they would have got before, and that's gonna increase, I guess, the how valuable it is because it's harder to get.
That's what they say. They say it gets its value adjusted. I don't know how true that is. Again,
none of this is proven. I guess it's not proven. It's all theoretical. Because I don't know when the last time it was halved or quartered or whatever. So
they said roughly 4 years ago, which would be 2020. And I'm sure there's articles about that. What I would do if I was you, I would look at, Bitcoin price reaction around halvings and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll back at it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's all I got. I'm listening for this Haitian thing.
All right, say less.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. I can't find nothing in Haiti. I typed in that Port-au-Prince and I got something. They said it was like Paris TV, but I don't know if it's Paris. Oh, what? Kenny, you call in, yo. Yeah, the halving. I see people talking about that shit. I don't really pay it much attention. I'm a DCA'er, man. I don't have time to be sitting down looking at the price. People be like, oh, Bitcoin. Every once in a while, I'll, like that last boom, I'll say something, but I can't be bothered every day. Like, hey. Like, motherfuckers is hype beast, man. With the halving, Let's think about that, right? So with the happening, the block mine reward is half. What did that? I have to try and picture this. And I'm sure people have, I'm sure somebody could probably go in depth fast and talk about this, but I like thinking of damn, you could get a couple of things could be happening. That means everybody who can mine at scale stays in the game. Anybody who wants to play is gonna be twist out, right? Because if reward for mining not as valuable to mine, that means the people that do it at scale would probably be the only remaining people to do it. It might be good for alts. I think it might be good for alts. The halvening might be great for alts. Right? I think alts are the way to go. Bitcoin's like, Bitcoin's not the Bitcoin is great. Like it should definitely be, in your portfolio, but technologically it's not the way. It's not the way. I like the hands-on approach. You guys know I'm a communist. Commie coin. I like, centralized coin. Allow you to do cool things. I didn't like how people were trying to censor Solana network. That was kind of damn. So I don't get a live stream for Haiti. All we got was a screenshot. Tried Haiti. Port-au-Prince gave me some parish. What is this? 24 hours inside Haiti's capital. Extremely dangerous. Somebody translate.
Bonjour la bienvenue ou dormi la passer sur quand même. Ça capable arriver quand même.
Somebody translate, yo.
Moun qui t'a dit Guy Philippe, moi-même dès qu'on dit ça, tout le monde dit que Guy Philippe pas tout visage li. On parle de révolution pacifique, révolution, moun pas jamais moi me dit beaucoup jamais Guy Philippe fait rien dans la révolution la dire, mais l'autre prend décision, c'est qu'il passe soldat yo l'autre. Li mande messieurs Azamio qui était population en sorti 1 et puis Zamio tout, li dit messieurs te dit Zamio la vie pour nous quitter barre et pour messieurs faire ça.
Interview this fool. Hey, what's going on, bro?
Jean Barbecue a parlé, mais pas bien Guy Philippe a parlé comme ça.
I think he sees my comment.
Speak English?
Yeah, he just read
I
it.
don't speak English.
Ah.
I don't speak English. Okay.
Right, I'm about to talk to this nigga in Haitian.
French.
I have.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm about to have.
Parce que ça qui vient, langage barbecue avec langage Guy Philippe, pas jamais même genre. Parce que barbecue lui-même sont anciens policiers. Barbecue lui-même son nèg font pas tête bataille dans l'arrière, il y a un soldat qui victime, après la émotion a plus la caille barbecue. Même que ouais barbecue son monde qui connaît ça l'a dire, maîtriser ça l'a dire, mais émotion l'a dégager dans ça l'a dire pas même avec Guy. Parce que Guy lui-même Guy son stratège, barbecue tout son stratège. Mais sauf que en pile fois stratégie barbecue
I just realized if I asked him a question, I wouldn't know if he
Mais Guy Philippe lui-même,
I wouldn't understand his response.
N'importe bagay qu'il a dit. Pour le langage monsieur tout.
Well, I guess I get to know
bagay, tel bagay c'est si al pour lui al dit non, pas jamais dit ça. Mais lui-même il a une façon qu'il a pas la monde qui prend dans lui, monde qui veut bataille avec lui, pas besoin de le faire ça, puis il le fait. Parce que bataille qu'a fait là, bah autant de toute la zone la plaine, autant de 19 machines, chercher jeune garçon, ou pas me connaît. Équipe qui Philippe qui est dans la capitale là pour mettre à messieurs vivants ensemble pour faire bataille là et puis personne va en connaître. Là on pense tous ces bandits, tous ces nègres vivants ensemble. Est-ce que Port-au-Prince, ok, est-ce que Port-au-Prince est en prison? Est-ce que Port-au-Prince est en prison à ciel ouvert? Mon cher, ouais, Port-au-Prince là va. Ouais, Port-au-Prince là, si on n'a pas de fiel, ou pas de cran tout, ou pas arrêter Port-au-Prince. Parce que plus gros problème là, je dis là, on a pris, bah ça, yo pendant après à tout temps de blo, ça de l'autre de bah la tout, on capte des cartouches ça fait la ping bang. Laisse ça qui va aller. Raison fait qu'il va aller parce qu'on paquet monde qui victime dans même condition. Dans même condition, paquet monde victime comme ça. Vous finissez par parler, oui, frère. D'accord avec vous, oui. OK? On paquet monde victime dans même condition ça. Parce qu'en pile fois, bandit c'est pas moun nan vinn fizer vrai non. Il ka venir là ou li wè bagay ou gen bel bagay ka besoin prendre là il fait ça la faire bagay ça. Mais gen bagay ki les balles perdi ça.
He's snapping right now. I don't know what he's saying but he's
snapping. Si tout les moun y a tiré sans réfléchir. Si tout les ou pas gon cible direct, peut-être c'est diversion y a fait. Ou ka bon di nou bagay. Ou ka nèg yo vinn dans zone là y a tiré sans arrêter, la police même pour venir là et puis yo geta kon l'autre groupe même qui va le faire vraie bataille là. Ils font diversion. Pas oublier bandit ça c'est stratégie que yo. Si on nan bagay monter toujours dit, on pas quelqu'un qui minimiser messieurs yo. Dit toujours dit pas minimiser messieurs yo. Moun wè kembe zam ça et puis bon toujours dit comme ça tout. On n'a pas la zam sou bagay ça. Pas moun nan de on leader d'opinion dit ah mais c'est nèg ça pas ça yo pas connait rien. M'a dit on nan dit prix zam ça au vendre. Comment moun nan ta fait acheter un zam bien cher comme ça pour le la gueule dans mon égaré pour aller dans la ria. Il connaît pas qu'on tirer, pas qu'on faire. Et l'option de messieurs parler, les plutôt soldats mourir, zam nan vinn jeune. Moun qui chef gang là. On y a moun ça on prend plaisir parce que c'est n'importe monde. Si son manchette, si son couteau, OK? C'est que moun achète zam nan bien cher pour le ba égaré dans la ria al goumen. Majorité population victime c'est peut-être c'est moun qui gen la voix au chapitre toujours dit la moun qui gen pouvoir peut-être moun qui était capable aider population à comprendre des bagailles il parler n'importe qui gens les bagailles la monter dans tête moun nan la gen n'importe qui gens population même prendre en courant ça le penser son vérité et bien mieux côté population victime moi même ouais seul moun connaît pas jamais minimiser monsieur ça le colonel Himmler c'est pas jamais minimiser monsieur Azami. Au contraire, toujours faire analyse, dit ou pas le barrer ici, ou pas il barrer l'autre bord, ou barrer tête côté, mettre côté dans mi-temps, c'est que gagne tête pensant, gon monde qui penser, gon stratège qui penser pour ça. On paquet nous pas colonel Himmler, nous connaissons ancien militaire qui est son colonel. Mais on paquet monde autre mais ça pas ça pas connait rien, bagay ça c'est pour et pourtant il pas dit population ça bagay là. Mais c'est ça au début pour voir la légère, c'est ou même capouel. Et bien, par exemple, je veux comme ça, à part un bon pouvoir qui même l'État, bagaille pour la police qui t'a parlé dans base ou argument avec eux, ou pas c'est au même cap marcher attaquer la police, c'est la police courir. Est-ce que nous pas ça? C'est la police qui est capable de dire qu'à préparer à mener opération dans base monsieur ça. C'est ça t'a supposé. Ou pas c'est au même cap marcher faire opération dans base la police. Faire policier voler quitter commissariat et puis au bouler c'est ça au fait. Yo qui t'a bouler après le commissariat dans pays sous commissariat.
Need a voice translator?
Et bon, jusqu'à présent, il y a des gens qui minimiser monsieur ça.
Did he say no? I think he said no.
Longtemps, pour capable de dire bandit longtemps, yo te sort. Dans quel sens même que yo te connaît, yo te sort. Donc, c'est affilié avec un pouvoir capable de manipuler, faire à gauche, faire à droite. Mais les konya yo première fois, yo cherche des armes, yo cherche mettre cop dans poche, yo cherche des munitions. Yo choisi à faire dirigeant ça marché SS.
Here you go.
Pas de monde qui vit pour parce qu'il en sécurité, non, papa. Pas de personne, non, de quoi vivre pour parce pas dire en sécurité, non. Il y a des gens qui disent la vivre pour parce même monde pour voir ça, ou mettre pays là, il n'y a pas dire qu'ils sont en sécurité. Non.
Oui ou non?
Ouais, même gens qui sont pour voir, imaginez Ariel c'est Ariel tout puissant qu'il est. Qui doit Ariel pour qu'à jamais venir dans le pays. Ariel illégal dans le pays, mon côté de là. Moi j'aime qu'à venir dans le pays. Ou j'aime mon ministre qui a fait une interview, ou j'aime mon ministre qui a parlé, ou j'aime mon machine, mon ministre dans la rien. Faut pas de monde qui en sécurité pour oppresse. Personne ne peut vivre pour oppresse pour la sécurité. Tout le monde connaît ça. Des fois vivre pour oppresse, c'est le plus mauvais côté où tu es capable de vivre. Vous comprenez? Que c'est pas bandit qui touille, la police qui touille, ou qui a un bal marron, n'importe bagaille qui arrive. On pas dire bagaille qui simple. Bandit a ka ou li partir ou, li quitte ou aller puis la police ou li fusille ou. Parce que depuis on passe devant bandit a pas fait rien. Des policiers qui tout mettre dans tête li, ou les sont aller, ou les sont antenne, ou c'est n'importe bagaille. Et grand pile monde qui victime comme ça. OK? Nous avons des citoyens qui ont une histoire et côté il laissé où c'est sous feu avec des batailles négligées et avec la police. OK? Pendant ce temps côté la police campelle. Et bien ça crivé mais il qui était dans chaque qui reconnaît plus. Il quitté monsieur aller. Pendant monsieur pour aller puis devant quasi 4 nègres l'homme qui caché derrière un poteau non quoi cap échapper ou tirer sur lui. Et bien pendant monsieur pas passer le nègre. Il tout plané. Mais nègre pas tirer sur lui, nègre veut pour machine police n'a pas tirer sur lui. Même c'est venu au moment de courir. Pendant le courir, bon backup qui t'a venu qui pas même nègre qui camper. Il file les balles derrière, monsieur volé, il court non pour aller.
Nobody lives in.
Pour qui réseau tirer d'elle, il s'est dit c'est parce que ça privé, ou qu'on a monsieur qui dans chat qui connaît plus ça vient parler c'est que c'est mon nèg vite le mieux, c'est pour eux même depuis bandit a en civil, faut que bandit a tuer civil là. Si bandit a pas tuer civil là, c'est que c'est allié.
Y'all ain't shit throwing the wrong translation. Y'all ain't shit. He said barbecue the truth. What's wrong with y'all? Hey, man, I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Actually, I'll be back tonight. Uncle Hotep, you already know. All right? Be well, stay merry. Tell somebody in your family that you love them. And as always, Hotep and Bill.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan,